Chapter 341, Mist Killer. It will be Monday, please. Brothers with tickets give some help. Close black lens bracket. This fog, even the monk's eyesight, cannot be easily penetrated, and in a short time, it is enough to play a great role in covering up. It is very wonderful. Although there is no real lethality, it can play an inestimable role in war. Therefore, after knowing his life awakening, Wu Yong did not feel frustrated at all, but felt that it was a life-saving tactic with endless effects. If you play well, you can play a lot of powerful things that you can't do. For him, cooperating with his own strategy can actually achieve unexpected surprises. There is such a magical power. Yi Tianxing's eyes brightened, and his heart suddenly rejoiced. The biggest reason for not dare to attack easily is to worry about ordinary people. In the war, they are too fragile. Once they are involved in the slaughter, they will be easily crushed into fragments and vanished. Death and injuries were exhausted. This is not what he wants. However, there is still a short distance from that imprisoned area. Even if there is fog covering the line of sight, I am afraid that it will be seized by the aliens. If they react, it will cause some damage and they need to cross the area guarded by the alien army. There are no small risks. Quote. Wu said with a slight frown. He couldn't solve this. This is an underground space, and there are only a few strategies that can be used. Many strategies change from place to place, and the environment responds accordingly. Don't worry, as long as you cover the entire underground space, I can confidently transport the soldiers directly to the imprisoned people. This distance is nothing short of simple. Yi Tianxing said confidently. Okay, I don't know when the protagonist is going to start. Wu Yong has no doubt. Since Yi Tianxing said so, there must be a way to do it. By solving this, all the combat plans will be completely perfected, at least without obvious flaws. Good use can completely reverse the unfavorable situation in one fell swoop. Do it now. The sooner the better. These aliens are ready to sacrifice the people as sacrifice. There is not much time to wait. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath and said without hesitation, General Yang, wait a minute. Mr. Wu took the shot and created a thick fog that enveloped the underground space below. Then, I would open the door of the space and transfer it directly to the imprisoned people. All the troops would follow in turn. This will be a ***** battle. Quote. The end will understand. Yang Yi Shensheng agreed. Start. Yi Tianxing waved and ordered. Wu Yong didn't hesitate. He didn't know when he took out a feather fan. This fan didn't know what to make. However, I can see that it is not a different treasure. In my hand, it was a little amazing. The whole body was blue. I didn't know what kind of bird feathers were used to make it. Brush, holding a fan toward one in the underground space. Immediately, I saw that a thick fog emerged from the void like a tide. As soon as it appeared, it spread rapidly in all directions. The spreading speed was too fast, so fast that people could not even react, as if it were a tide. In an instant, it had spread and covered most of the area. Many scorpion warriors were too late to react and were shrouded in fog. This is underground. How could there be fog? Not good. Enemy attacks. Alert. The magic scorpion also saw the sudden emergence of fog. Under the shroud of fog, even the sight was greatly affected, and the surrounding scenes were not clear at all. At the same time when he was shocked, he knew immediately that it was certain it is a means of attack by an enemy. An indignation emerged from my heart. Unexpectedly, at this time, there was a surprise attack. Brush. At the moment when the fog shrouded the underground space, a silver-white space door appeared in front of him instantly, and he had stepped in with a moment of thought. When the light flashed, when Yi Tianxing reappeared, he had already come to the area where the people were imprisoned. The light flashed in his hand, and a bronze spear was already in his hand. Puff! The war spear waved out. Nearby, a scorpion warrior was too late to react, and he saw that the light flashed and the war spear had directly penetrated his throat. The violent power rushed into the body, destroying it madly, completely annihilating the vitality in the body. Die instantly. The spear was pulled out, and a burst of blood spewed out instantly. It was startling, and it was too late to scream, so it fell to the ground. Puff, puff, puff. Yi Tianxing didn't pause at all. His feet kept pace, and the spear in his hand was waved again and again. The spear seemed to be a heaven punishment from heaven. The body was already pierced by the Cold War spear, hitting the vital point. At each step, a spear waved, causing a scorpion to fall to the ground and turn into a corpse. Every hit is so domineering. Killing, only between this wave of spears. With the strength of Yi Tianxing, facing these ordinary scorpion men, they are like tigers entering the flock, and they are killed without any chance to reflect them. A famous scorpion man died instantly. Puff puff. At this moment, we can see that Yang Yi and a large number of generals have crossed the space gate and appeared nearby. After the appearance, they were polite and waved a lance. Battle arrows and crossbow arrows shot out into the mist. In the fog, a crisp sound of crossbow breaking into the flesh came. What is going on? How can there be fog, and what is this? Someone is launching an attack on those aliens. It is human race, it is human. We are saved. Great, we have finally waited. It is our army of human beings. The strong among the human race, we are finally saved. The people imprisoned in the surrounding area were also stunned by the sudden fog, but immediately discovered that there was a fierce killing sound in the fog, and the ***** smell was fascinating. Some keen people immediately guessed some who couldn't see in the fog, but heard the scream of the scorpion. It can also be known that even if it is not a Terran, it is also an enemy of the scorpion Terran. In any case, the situation cannot be worse. It is the best hope in my heart to say that it is a strong human race to rescue. Damn humans, **** Xuanwang Town, Yi Tianxing, you dare to bring soldiers to sneak attack, you are simply bullying too much. Do you think my scorpion is a good bully? I am incompatible with you. The reaction of the magic scorpion was equally amazing. Almost immediately, it was guessed that this must be from Xuanwang Town and a sneak attack from Yi Tianxing. Near here, only Xuanwang Town had such strength to launch an attack. The anger in my heart instantly came to my mind, but still calmly issued an order. All people, all approach the altar of the demon god. The fog is foggy, and the light of the altar cannot be blocked. There is a mysterious force on the demon altar, which prevents the fog from approaching the altar at all, and is forcibly dispelled by a force. Within a radius of 10 feet, there is no fog to cover. The scorpion obeyed and quickly approached the altar. In the process, they continued to cope with the cold arrows shot by the puppets. Their sense of danger was very strong, and most of the battle arrows were cut by the sword. However, there are still many scorpion men who were shot and killed by the crossbow of the machine. Bang bang! In a fierce roar, the force of ice and fire burst out, and a famous scorpion man was torn apart by a rune bomb and was seriously injured. In the fog, it brings endless fear. Rune bomb, it really is Xuanwang Town, Yi Tianxing, you are despicable. The scorpion's teeth were to be broken, and a roar was issued. In the fog, no one answered. The answer given was a more violent arrow rain. The cold crossbow brought a stream of light and shuttled through the mist. Quickly shoot and kill the scorpions in the captivity area. The smell of blood was getting stronger in the underground space. Flooded in the nose. In just a few moments, thousands of scorpion men fell to invisible killings. Unconsciously, it can be seen that the fog in the underground space is beginning to dissipate. This mist is coming fast, and it is going fast. With Wu Yong's cultivation, it won't last long. Today has reached its limit. In an instant, all the fog had dissipated. The entire underground space also reappeared in sight. The imprisoned people even opened their eyes wide, and wanted to know who was coming, humans or other aliens, with hope in their eyes. And when they saw Yi Tianxing and others wearing neat battle armors and weapons, countless people showed joy on their faces. The numb and desperate heart gradually began to awaken. Looking at the scorpion who fell to the ground all around, the joy inside was harder to describe in words. It's humanity, it's our army. It's great. Someone finally came to save us. It's great. We don't have to be eaten at last, we are saved. Those ordinary people couldn't help exulting. They burst into cheers. www.novelhall.com. I never expected that hope would suddenly appear in despair. This hope came too suddenly. The ups and downs of life were so exciting that they all wanted to pee. It really is you, Yi Tianxing. You dare to chase over and launch a sneak attack. Do you really think that my scorpion is a soft persimmon? Are you bullying? The scorpion stared coldly at Yi Tianxing. His pale face exuded anger. Red. The king is defeated, the reincarnation of heaven. You can sneak attack on my Xuanwang Town, then why is it that I sneak attack on your scorpion race? Let's not talk nonsense, come to war and die. I don't believe that there is a demon who can save you. Quote. Yi Tianxing sneered and looked at the scorpion. During the chaos, kill thousands of scorpion warriors. At present, the number of scorpion warriors on the other side is only about 30,000, and the strength of the two sides is basically the same. At the same stage. Okay, Then fight in person and see if your Terran army is powerful, or if my Scorpion army is stronger. The magic scorpion said coldly. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote, your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 342, Confrontation. Hooray! Yang Yi gave a stop. Boom boom. The entire army began to change rapidly. Sword and shield soldiers are ahead, and the array is ahead. After the pikemen were behind, Shenji battalion was next, and the archers stood last. The neat queue, the army array to be killed, and the neat array arranged in an instant, are the simplest and most direct square of war. 30,000 soldiers emit the spirit of destruction, and the iron blood evil spirit cultivated in the body seems at this moment completely connected together, the whole is integrated, and the emitted air is connected, like a behemoth, like a mountain of coercion. Dignified, army formation, hooray! When the scorpion saw, his eyes and pupils were frozen, and he felt a strong threat from the army. However, there is no fear. Ordered the same. Brush. A famous scorpion warrior stepped forward, and also arrayed in the underground space. Most scorpion people are holding a huge sword like a strange sword. The dark blades are flashing with cold light. Although the queue is not very neat, it is not as well trained as the army in Xuanwang town. After the battle, the huge blades still made a strong sense of threat. The cruel killing in their bones makes these scorpion men not afraid of killing at all. The dazzling blade of the sword made the whole army exude fierce murderous power. For a time, the underground space completely turned into a battlefield. One side is a human race, and the other is a scorpion human race. Opposite to each other, the two invisible momentums directly collided over the battlefield and continued to confront each other. An air of killing was lost in the air. In the face of the real army, the pressure is not felt in person, but how terrible it is. It's a fight. It's really an army of the scorpion. This is a confrontation between the two armed forces, and it is about to start a war. Okay, I haven't seen what the real army fights like before. This is the moment to compete for real strength. However, from the formation point of view, it is clear that our Xuanwang town is more neat and the air power delivered is extremely powerful. This is not 1 + 1 = 2. It is like a whole. Once in motion, it will be as powerful as a bamboo and it will fall apart. Quote. It's a terrible army of Scorpion clan. I don't feel it when confronted alone. Now that I am in the army, the huge sword is a weapon on the battlefield. Quote. At this time, many monks have begun to arrive, but they only dare to stand on the edge of the battlefield and dare not approach. The breath emanating from the two armies was really terrible. It's as if two horrifying beasts have been awake, preparing for a life and death fight. For the army's assassination, Yi Tianxing did not intervene, stood on one side, and did not interfere, leaving Yang Yi to control the army freely. He is a general and controls the army, which is his due responsibility and power. Kill. The scorpion saw that the array was complete, without any hesitation, waved his hands, issued a command, and completely opened the prelude to the war. Boom boom. The scorpion army heard the order, and immediately began to move quickly. They were half human and half scorpion, and they moved very fast. Huge swords were held in their hands, and fierce evil swept across. Rolling down like a black cloud. The momentum is suffocating. Blade shield soldier, mud shield. Yang Yanding was listed among the sword shield soldiers, and gave a drink. Boom. Step forward half a step, squat, kneel on one knee. The huge shield lands directly on the ground in front of the ground. Each shield is connected to the shield next to it, turning into an indestructible shield wall. Block directly at the front. Then, the pikemen came forward and appeared behind the shield wall. The shield is specially made. Even if it is a synthetic shield wall, there are also small holes in the shield wall. This hole can only allow a long gun to pass through it, but it must be extremely accurate. Once it is not accurate enough, it cannot follow the hole. Stabbing out, causing lethality to the enemy in front, this is an item that must be trained in the cooperation of the army when training in Xuanwang town. Shen Jiying heard orders, right in front, shoot freely. Yang Yanping's eyes were frozen and he looked at the scorpion army who was approaching quickly, his face was still calm, and he opened his mouth and ordered. Ha! One by one, the crossbows of gods were erected at the same time, pointing to the front of the battlefield. Under the command, without any hesitation, they pulled the trigger and launched directly. Each cold crossbow shot out like a storm, appeared over the battlefield, and shot towards the scorpion army that was rushed down. That picture is enough to numb the scalp. My heart was shrouded in fear. That picture is too violent. Each one contains a powerful rune power, which is filled with true energy and shoots out. On the crossbow arrows, there is a strong light flashing, with gold, crossbow arrows, almost all of them are armor-piercing arrows. Containing metallic power, combined with the explosive power of the Shenji crossbow, the destructive power of the crossbow has soared to the extreme. Ding ding ding, scorpion men wear dark armor, which evolved from scorpion shells. The inborn armor has a strong defensive power, which is stronger than the normal defensive power. You can see the black metallic luster on it if you infuse it with energy. The sword in his hand kept chopping, and the dark blades of light flickered in front of him, colliding with the crossbow and emitting a fierce roar. The power contained in the crossbow is extremely amazing. Even the swords in the hands of the scorpionmen were collapsed and knocked down, but they were also cut directly by the swords and made a crisp sound. Unfortunately, the blades are superb. It is still impossible to completely intercept the dense crossbow arrows. There are crossbow arrows falling on the body, falling on the armor, clashing with the armor, the light shining on the armor. It is extremely difficult for the crossbow to break the armor of the armor. However, the armor-breaking arrows are not stigmatized. Under the stalemate, the power of the armor-breaking arrows still breaks through the light of God, penetrates the armor, and penetrates into the body. However, when the armor penetrates the armor, the power on the crossbow is already consumed more than half, so that it penetrated into the body and could not completely penetrate the body. But it also penetrated deeply into the body, breaking through the flesh, and the blood was as gorgeous as a flower. One may not be fatal, but 3, 4, and 10 fall on the body, or even hit the key directly. Through the throat, only death is brought, and the crossbow contains the sharp armor-breaking power. Once it enters the body will also wantonly destroy the physical body. Almost on the spot, I saw that at the front, a large group of scorpion men fell directly in the arrow rain and fell down one after the other, dying on the spot. That picture is like wheat under a sickle. Reaping is life after life. But the scorpion was not afraid. Instead, he unceremoniously lifted the scorpion man's corpse on the ground as a shield of flesh and blood. The impolite runway ran forward in front of him. The crossbow shot on the corpse and was directly blocked by the corpse. A threat to the scorpion behind the body. Moreover, the speed of the scorpion army is too fast. The distance between the two armies is not too long, and it is too late to make other responses and replace them with other rune crossbows. However, in this regard, Yang Yi was not surprised at all, and faced with a foreigner's approach to the archers, naturally prepared for a long time. I won't be a second time, and I've already been prepared to crack it. Archers ready, flame arrows, straight ahead, shooting freely. Wang Dahu also issued an order as soon as possible. Swipe. Suddenly, the bone battle bow in the archer's hand had been pulled away. As soon as it was pulled out, you could see that all the rune arrows were flame arrows. On the bowstring, a reddish light shone. A stream of crimson streamers appeared over the battlefield and shot into the bodies. The fire arrow burst into flames, quickly ignited the corpse, and turned it into a ball of fire. The scorpion man who seized the corpse had to give up his meat shield. The body was re-exposed to the dense arrow rain. Another large number of scorpion men died in the arrow rain. 10,000 magic machine crossbows launched attacks at the same time, and the number of crossbows shot was too alarming. Dense like rain, thousands of scorpion men stumbled into the arrow rain. The destructive power of the crossbow is so overbearing and amazing. Kill. However, at the cost of suffering, the scorpion army had forcibly appeared in front of the army. In the icy killing sounds, the huge black sword was lifted at the same time, and chopped down vigorously towards the shield wall in front. On the edge of the blade, you can see a strong edge, which is filled with powerful chi, which is an attack launched with all your strength. Each sword cooperates with a huge sword, and the destructive power that erupts, as if even the hill can be split. Ding! Boom! When the sword was slashed on the shield, you can see that the shield once again glowed golden light and turned into a golden shield wall, transmitting a strong defense force. Make a sound of golden iron symphony. Under the knife, Mars burst out. The shield wall is motionless. Puff puff. Immediately after, I saw that in the shield wall, a cricket of white bone war rifles drilled out like a viper. These spears appeared very suddenly, and it was impossible to imagine that behind the shield wall, the deadly spears would be pierced directly. Strong banged on the front scorpion. The sound of crisp and sharp blades passing through the flesh came out one after another. Every blood flashed. A large number of scorpion men fell on the battlefield again. But the scorpion in the back didn't hesitate. www.novelhall.com quickly stepped forward, waving the sword, and chopped on the shield wall again. The light of the chopped shield wall began to dim at a speed visible to the naked eye. Moreover, after preparation, the damage caused by the war spear waved from the shield wall was directly reduced, and most of them were avoided, and only a part of them could not be avoided and pierced by a spear. Ding ding ding! The huge sword was chopped on the shield wall again and again. The golden shield wall began to dissipate at a rate that was visible to the naked eye. During this process, the Shenji crossbow continuously shot out a crossbow, killing a famous scorpion. On the battlefield, there was only icy killing. In front of the shield wall, a large number of corpses stained the ground, like the same nature. A large number of scorpion men fell. Boom! Finally, when the sword was waved again, the golden shield wall completely shattered. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 343, Flesh Killer. The reason why the shield has such a strong defense force is because the rune animal skin on the surface of the shield contains defensive runes, but the power it bears is still limited, and it continues to break under continuous bombardment. This is a long story, but it's just a blink of an eye. The sword and shield soldiers dispersed, and the pikemen came forward. Kill! Yang Yanding shouted. The sword and shield soldiers blocking in front spread out immediately, exposing pikemen holding white bone war guns behind, one by one wearing battle armor, looking cold, without any hesitation, a lance with a cold light. This is the bone the war gun, and the whole body conveyed a terrifying death breath. But its sharpness is beyond doubt. Raise the gun. Spike. Yang Yanding issued an order. In the order, the front soldier didn't hesitate. He lifted the bone gun and stabbed straight ahead. Huge force, pierced with the infuriating war gun, stabbed out, and even the air made a loud noise. Thousands of spears pierced. That feeling is pretty scary. There were spears almost everywhere. Avoid one handle, two handles, but cannot flash away three handles, four handles. There were spears everywhere, and there was no room to dodge at all. Suddenly facing such a terrible spear battle, the oncoming scorpion men were shot, punctured by the spear, and stabbed into a hedgehog on the spot. There is no way to crack such a gun array. On the battlefield, if you can't avoid it, you can't avoid it, it's death. Puff. However, the destructive power of the scorpion warrior was equally terrible. The huge sword was cut down, and despite the disregard, he directly split the spear and cut it on the soldier. The sword, together with the armor, split in half on the spot, blood mad squirt, killed on the spot, bloody. The destructive power of the sword is extremely violent. It was cruel to a horrible degree. Raise the gun and stab. Even if the comrades around him fell and died cruelly, all the pikemen remained without any pause. The first row of the pikemen retreated, the second row of pikemen came forward, raised their guns, waved their arms, and speared forward. Puff puff. A spear pierced into the body of a scorpion, completely annihilating all vitality in the body. However, some people were split in half by the sword of the scorpion. Blood flashed on the battlefield. The long pistol battle was too terrible, and the gun was stabbed again and again. Bring a cold light. The battlefield is like a terrible flesh blender. Every moment, you can see people falling and aliens falling. On the battlefield, some just wield weapons again and again, piercing the terrible sound of flesh and blood. Cold and ruthless. Both Xuanwang Town Army and Scorpion Army seem to be two icy war machines that are crushing each other. The battlefield is a monster that devours life. This terrible battlefield, fierce killing, all the monks' faces showed a strong shock. They were monks, and even people from the rivers and lakes before. They were only good at fighting alone. They had never seen the real army fight like this. What's more, the assassination between the monks' army, the damage caused, and the shock brought are inestimable. Is this the real battlefield? What a terrible battle, a terrible army, that gun array, all shots, and the pistols shot by the puppets can penetrate a few feet away, and at the same time, a long gun, such a gun array, there is no way to crack it. Unless it can be completely suppressed and there is no fear of spear attacks, otherwise it will be an insurmountable death zone. Quote. This is the war between monks. Those scorpion men's swords are terrible. When they go down, a soldier is forcibly split in half, which is destructive and terrible. If you face such a scorpion on the battlefield, the people's army, facing alone, is absolutely dead. Quote. However, in the end, our army in Xuanwang town has to be better. Divine crossbow, bows and arrows are constantly shooting and killing. The scorpion army has suffered heavy losses. They can't break the long gun array and die every moment. The number of deaths is more than us. There are many more human armies. There is no suspense in this war. They cannot win. Quote. One monk spoke in succession. At the same time when the looks shook, he also made speculations about the end of the war. In the situation on the battlefield, the advantages have been completely transferred to the Terran army. Not only the front is fighting with the scorpion people, but the magic crossbow and archer at the back did not stop for a moment. The fired crossbow and rune arrows caused a large number of scorpion people to fall, and they were dying every moment. An army of 30,000 scorpion men died instantly within 20,000. Throw, rumble, the sword and shield soldiers did not pause. They took out a rune bomb in their hands and thrown it into the scorpion army without mercy. It exploded instantly, and the terrorist force erupted, causing many scorpion people to follow. It was torn into pieces like a rag. Damn humans! The magic scorpion stood near the altar with a cold light in his eyes. He did not expect that after the same number of armies, the final result would be a one-sided end. That terrible machine crossbow, powerful bows and arrows, and even the indestructible shield wall, the horrible gun array, and the power that erupted on the battlefield are all noticeable. Although the Scorpion army is powerful, compared with the Terran army in front of it, it seems that the Brand army is fighting with the regular army. A battle is a one-sided situation. The anger and shame in my heart became stronger. Retreat, leave here. The Scorpion's mouth twitched a few times and finally issued an order. Order it. Immediately, the Scorpion army quickly approached the altar. In the process, it was still facing a dense arrow rain. Scorpion soldiers fell in the arrow rain and were shot into hedgehogs. Looks startling. By the time the demon altar was completely approached, the army of 30,000 Scorpion men had only 5 or 6,000. And began to quickly retreat into a burrow. Stop hunting. Yi Tianxing looked at the altar of the devil with dreads and gave orders. The altar of the devil always carried a hint of fear in his heart. It was indeed summoned the altar of the devil. He could not help but hesitate. If something changed, it was not what he wanted to see. Yi Tianxing, today's battle, even if you win, I will not perish the Scorpion. In the future, we will fight again. By then, it will not be the situation today. At that time, defeat, it must be your people. Quote. The magic Scorpion looked at Yi Tianxing coldly. In this battle, he lost. There was no suspense, but he would not stop there. He will definitely make a comeback. Scorpion soldiers die when they die in battle. As long as the altar of the demon is present, a large number of Scorpion warriors can be conceived without normal reproduction. There is an altar, everything is there, everything may exist. He believes that he will fight again. At that time, it will definitely not be the situation today. The next time you meet, this demon altar may not block my footsteps. At that time, you will fall. Yi Tianxing said without a sneer. Had it not been for the altar, he wouldn't have let go of the Scorpion easily. This batch of humans will give you, but it is no simpler to arrest humans. In addition to your Xuanwang town, humans in other places, in my eyes, are fragile blood food. Scorpion cold glancing at the imprisoned people, he sneered. Human beings are everywhere in the wilderness, and the large number allows him to catch a large number without having to deliberately seek. It is a pity that he lost it. This frontal assassination made him see the potential of war in Xuanwang town with his own eyes. If he faced it again, he would be able to respond accordingly. Next time, he will definitely not be defeated like this. Kill my tribe, the sea of blood is deeply hated, and we don't wear it together. Yi Tianxing raised a brow, and there was a strong killing in his eyes, and he had a plan to keep him here completely, but immediately after this thought appeared, he felt a strong and dangerous atmosphere from the demon altar. Obviously, this demon altar will never watch the Scorpion race completely fall. Endure. Only after having the ability to completely suppress this demon altar, will the Scorpion clan be completely killed. The remnants of the Scorpion army began to evacuate at a rapid speed, and in a flash, they disappeared with the altar. When they left, the channel they evacuated directly collapsed, and vanished into nothing. Great, we won, we were saved, we really won, we survived. It's us humans who have won, really won. I'm not dreaming. Is this still a human army? The bows and arrows shot out are so terrible. The spear can pierce the gun and the shield can be turned into a shield wall. It's different. This world is really different. Even aliens have appeared. These myths and legends also exist. Quote. Woohoo. In the underground space, suddenly, among those imprisoned people, there was a burst of screams of sorrow. It was a cry of joy, and a cry of hope when they saw it. One face began to show hope. Really feel that I can live, that joy is from my heart. Very strong. www.novelhall.com. 1. Is this war? In a short period of time, tens of thousands of aliens fell, and the number of deaths reached the number. It was cruel and bloody. A monk murmured without secret. This kind of war is simply a battlefield like a meat grinder. Cruel and ***** to the extreme. Only strength can survive. Everything else is vain. Weak meat and strong food are reflected vividly in the battlefield. Converge the corpses of comrades in arms and let them be buried in the iron blood Great Wall. Yi Tianxing looked at the icy corpses on the battlefield, and there were many human corpses in the period. War cannot be undead, there can be no casualties, and it can only be reduced as much as possible. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote, your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 344, Set up the cauldron. The powerful war weapons are also powerful for the right and left of the war. The cultivation of soldiers on our side is actually similar to that of the Scorpion warriors, almost incomparable, reasonable tactics, powerful war weapons, shields, spears, divine crossbow, well-trained armies, these are the real reasons for the easy victory of this war. Without these, the casualties caused by the Scorpion army will definitely increase exponentially. Quote. Wu calmed with his eyes and pupils and said slowly. Killing more than 20,000 Scorpion men, but only hurting hundreds of people, less than 1,000, this comparison, the casualties can be said to be as small as pitiful, at any time, it can be said to be a brilliant victory. A large part of this result comes from the power of war equipment. If there is no crossbow, no powerful bone war bow, rune arrows, rune bombs and other items, the victory, the price paid, and the casualties will be greatly increased to an unbearable level. These weapons and equipment are also a manifestation of strength and a powerful symbol. It's not strong enough, otherwise, there won't be hundreds of deadly soldiers. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath and shook his head slightly. If he can, he hopes that the various weapons produced can become more powerful. In that case, he can make the army stronger, kill it, have less casualties, and even end up in a lossless manner, and it can end a battle. There is no such thing as a skyrocketing thing in the world. The protagonist can do this in a short period of time, and has already surpassed most people. At least nearby, he can stand on top. And now, it is just the birth of the eternal continent in the first period of time, any advantage can be transformed into a solid foundation that will never be easy. Quote. Wu Yang said resolutely, although it is not very clear about this world, it cannot change the fact that all forces have been broken, there are no rules, there is no dynasty, and there is no family. Everything is upset again, no matter if you are a high-ranking royal family, or a second-generation official, a second-generation rich or whatever, you have no ability, not even a reptile, and you have the ability to stand out. This is an age where competence is valued. In this age, step by step is step by step. Any advantage can become its own capital as long as it is grasped firmly. In this era, it is not only parents who can make a difference, nor is it that parents can be at ease, and they have no ability, that is, handing their lives to the fate of nothingness, and they may fall into the wilderness in the next moment. It is itself. Just like Yi Tianxing, he built a solid foundation with his own hands. I don't know the name of Emperor Gong. At this moment, we can see that among the ordinary people with thin skin and yellow skin, an old man stepped out, looked right, and adjusted his clothes in a robe. The breadth of the book, even after being sharpened, can still make people see at a glance that their behavior and manners are decent. At a glance, Yi Tianxing's status here should be approached and asked. This is our lord of Xuanwang town, Yi Tianxing. Wu replied with a smile instead of Yi Tianxing. It turned out to be Yi, the old surnamed Zhou Wenju. Thank you for saving your life. If it wasn't for Yi to bring soldiers, I'm afraid that this time, the 100,000 people here will die. To the devil. Quote. The old man heard and expressed sincere gratitude on his face, bowing deeply toward Yi Tianxing. Mr. Zhou said a lot. Yi Tianxing quickly stepped forward and helped him up, chuckling, it's all human races. Today, our human races are difficult, and we should support each other. When I get the news that humans are imprisoned, I easily how could Tianxing turn a blind eye and watch everyone suffer here and become blood food. Quote. This life-saving grace is higher than the sky. Zhou Wenju's eyes dared to move. Yeah, if it was meant for Yi Tianxing and his soldiers to come here to kill them, I'm afraid they would not be able to stand here now, and they would have fallen on the spot. This kind of kindness is a real life-saving grace, without any discount. Feeling richer in my heart. Brothers and sisters, I am the owner of Xuanwang town. Starting today, everyone is saved. After a while, you can return to the town with the army. In my Xuanwang town, although I dare not say, I can give everyone a stable life. A safe environment, but I can give you freedom and dignity as human beings. Even the strength to be able to contend with the alien race. Quote. Yi Tianxing looked at a common man with a thin face and a yellow skin, and his eyes flashed with firmness. He said slowly, although our human race is inherently weak and inferior to other fierce beasts, the alien is strong, but we have wisdom. Perseverance can also be constantly strengthened. At that time, even aliens will be killed by us under the sword. Today aliens take us as blood, and tomorrow we can still be killed by the sword. Quote. 30 years in Hedong and 30 years in Hexi, I believe that although you have been imprisoned and tortured physically and mentally. But I believe that your heart will not sink due to this, will not be flattened, but the diamond horn will be worn out. Word by word, echoing in the underground space. These words fell in my ears. You can see that the eyes of the people began to restore color and became brighter. The firmness of the eyes began to emerge, and there was also a strong hatred. This is the hatred of the ferocious alien. I hate myself for not being strong enough to kill these aliens myself. Lost blood began to gradually return. A strong desire for strength emerged in my heart. We are human, even if we are inherently weak, we will never let it be slaughtered. Now, in the face of my human army, I have not yet been slaughtered easily. I must also become stronger and be able to kill the aliens myself. I want to join the army and become a soldier. Only by becoming a soldier can I become stronger faster. Even the battlefield death is better than being trampled by dignity and dignity at will. Even if I am going to die, I hope to die on the battlefield and die on the road to fight those beasts. Shouts rang out among the crowd, and they fought a strong fighting spirit. Clean the battlefield, then leave the ground and return to the ground. Don't let all the corpses of the Scorpion clan go and take them together, even if you dare to come, then let their corpse flesh and blood become part of the Iron Blood Great Wall in atonement for killing the human race. Quote. Yi Tianxing said quickly, there is no unnecessary action. After an order, all soldiers quickly start cleaning the battlefield. In the battlefield, all the corpses are taken away unceremoniously, and all kinds of swords are left alone. The entire underground space is completely swept away like a ghost enters the village. Nothing is left. Then he did not hesitate, followed the passage, and quickly returned to the original road. This time, more than 100,000 people accompanied. Although these people are thin and yellow, and hungry, they have almost no energy, but at this moment, they don't know why. A force is born in the body to support them to follow the army and move forward. Hope is ahead. Even if you crawl, you must follow it. This is the power of an invisible belief. Xuanwang Town. In front of the underground passage, although the cleaning work in the town has continued, and a large amount of ruins have been removed, during the operation, all eyes gazed unconsciously towards the tunnel, with expectations and concerns in their eyes. It seems that I hope to pass the latest news in it. At this moment, a figure emerged from the entrance of the cave. He was a soldier with a killing spirit on his body. It's our soldiers in Xuanwang Town, the soldiers, and they're back. Look, I'm really back. Many soldiers are all coming out quickly. I don't know if we won this battle or not. What kind of enemies we fought against. A lot of people. What are these people? These people seem to be ordinary people. They have yellow skin and thin skin. This must have suffered great suffering. These are just like the way we were in the wilderness before. They must be from the outside. Found. A lot. This number is too much. It seems that there are literally tens of thousands, even more than that. It is still coming out one after another. Is this a place to find a gathering place for human beings, or a people rescued from the hands of aliens? Fast, the people in the food hall immediately ignite, set up a large pot, take out white rice, boil white porridge, put ginseng in it. Only one piece can be put in these pots. These newcomers are too weak to repair, it can only be warmed up. Everyone is moving, and people cannot belittle our people in the food hall. These are all our brothers and sisters in Xuanwang town. As a meeting ceremony, we must also treat them well. Quote. Lie, he said directly. The people who greeted the food hall immediately started making fire. Those who came out of the ground were pale and bloodless, their bodies were thin enough to see bones, and it was conceivable that www.novelhall.com was absolutely impossible to fill their stomachs. At this meal, you can't eat hard food. Drinking porridge is the most effective way to recover. Filling your stomach can restore your strength and vitality. Of course, it is not ordinary white porridge to be cooked, and various warming herbs should be put in it. The meat of the beast is cut into a puree and placed in the white porridge, so that it can be better absorbed and restored. This is the specialty of Gourmet Hall. In a blink of an eye, the cauldron was set up. Bags of rice were carried out and put into the pot. In a blink of an eye, you can smell a scent of fragrance beginning to drift in the air. Grunt. Many people who came out of the ground smelled the scent and looked at the cauldrons around them. A strong feeling of hunger came to mind and appeared in the body. The people take food as their heaven, which no one can resist. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 345. Luck. Welcome you. Please remember the address of this site. Mobile phone reading, so that you can always read the latest chapter of the novel, Eternal Kingdom. God can see pity. Since they came to this eternal continent, they have never eaten a meal. What to eat every day, do and say what it's about. I can't fill my stomach. I can't even get half full. I can only keep it from starving. Torture the body and mind all the time. To die and not to die, to be hungry and not to die. That feeling is more terrifying than any torture. Now, when I smell the fragrance of meat porridge, the feeling is simply indescribable. The sound of swallowing swallows constantly. In the face of hunger, whether it is men, women, young or old, whether they were noble in the past, they all have to show their true colors. Reveal human nature. Dear brothers and sisters, don't worry, the porridge here is just for you. It won't be long before you can cook it, drink it, you can quickly restore your strength. Rest assured, it will be safe in our Xuanwang town. There will be no more it's dangerous. In the future, everyone will be brothers and friends who often meet together. The people in Xuanwang town saw the people and showed a kind smile and said, yes, things that were not important in the past, now we come to Xuanwang town, that is to get a new life completely, no longer have to worry about fear, or fear of being hungry, nothing else. In Xuanwang town, the food thing, that but eat whatever you want, don't worry about not eating enough. Quote. Yes, first raise your body and recover. In the future, everyone will be brothers and sisters in Xuanwang town. I will know how happy it is to be a people in Xuanwang town in this troubled world. After you are full, you can log into your household registration, and then you can go to the Tibetan Scripture Pavilion to receive skills in combat skills and become a monk. In the future, you will have the power to protect yourself. Voices came to the ears of the people. A kind of sudden gratitude and warmth was born in the helpless heart. This kind of care from human beings was never felt by them, and the cold heart gradually warmed up. My heart secretly gave birth to a sense of belonging. Some soldiers died. At this moment, I only saw that the body of a soldier who had died in battle was carried out. Looking at a cold body, seeing the scars on the body, the people in the town suddenly became calm, staring with respect. This is a martyr who died for their people and is a hero. Looking at a soldier with a killing general on his face, the feeling in his heart was even stronger. 1. Both. Hundreds of corpses appeared, making the atmosphere in the town unconsciously become somewhat dignified and somewhat depressed. Battle, battle, battle. Suddenly, a shout came from the mouth of the people. Tianlei is the drum and the earth is the tomb. The wilderness is fierce, the alien is mad, and the human race is indestructible from ancient times. The head can be broken, the blood can flow, the iron bones loyal to Kyushu. 99 holding a steel knife, don't break the vow of aliens. The vast song of war emanated from the mouth of a common people. In the voice, endless convictions and respect for the war dead were conveyed. 1, 2, 3. A common people began to issue war songs at the same time. Kill, 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 ferocious beasts, strong aliens, men hold swords, swords are decapitated swords, and guns are killing guns. Regardless of god and demon, the slaughter is me. Qiancho Immortal Industry, white bones stain the sky. For my people, I would like to slaughter millions of spirits. Life is a hero, and death is a ghost, so I will not destroy the soul and fight for the world. Abandon the name of 1,000 years of benevolence today, drink the blood of thousands of ethnic groups, step on the bones of the bones, and be weak and do not go with me today, kill the enemy with millions of hearts without punishment. Rather ask the ethnic groups to cut their teeth to hate, and not teach them to scold our enemy. The sounds of battle songs rang in Xuanwang town. The battle songs were a bit low and not as high as those on the battlefield, but they had the faith to inherit the will of the war dead. They used war songs to see these heroic soldiers killed. The air was full of wonder. The faces of all the soldiers were completely blank. My go, my spear, the people's fat, the people's ointment. My robes, my people give them to the people. I have my shield and my own people. My brother, my brother, my people, my people. Using this as an army to fight the riots for the people. Civil rights and benefits are guaranteed for me. People, enemies and thieves, drink my sword. Keep the soil and protect the people, remember the mission. It is difficult to deceive the heavens, and the army soul will shine. If I die in the battle, I'd like to be buried in the iron blood Great Wall, Yongzhen Qufang. A sound of war songs emanated from the soldier's mouth. On the war song, a soldier's body was sent towards the iron blood Great Wall. On their final journey to their comrades in arms, they completed their last will and buried their bodies in the iron blood Great Wall. A scorpion corpse was carried out. Looking at these alien corpses, the people in Xuanwang town showed cold colors. These alien corpses should be completely suppressed in the iron blood Great Wall and turned into ritual sacrifices. The corpses of hundreds of martyrs increased the length of the iron blood Great Wall again, and continued to extend. Similarly, the bodies of more than 20,000 scorpion people made the length of the iron blood Great Wall soar. It has reached a length of more than 9,000 meters, close to a length of 10,000 meters. Add a lot of dark city bricks again. The shrouded area is wider. Yi Tianxing also went out of the ground and came to the ground. Seeing that all the soldiers' bodies had been buried in the iron blood Great Wall, there was a heavy burden in my heart, which was a heavy responsibility. However, no longer staying, he walked directly towards the mansion. After entering, the whole body had disappeared without any thought. Directly into Qian Tianqi. I only see that Qian Tianqi at this moment can be said to have undergone tremendous changes. The original Qian Tianqi was only 9 feet in size and 9 meters deep. The entire space of fortune is only 15 or 6 feet in size, but now it appears in a huge space. This space does not seem to be the original space for luck, but conveys a mysterious atmosphere. Dao Yun, Qian Tianqi is only a small part of this space. Here is the core space of the supreme artifact. The place used to cast the origin of the artifact. I did not expect that Qian Tianqi has been integrated with this space. It is really mysterious. Yi Tianxing looked at the huge space in front of him and couldn't help muttering to himself, whispered. This is the core space of the supreme artifact. Here, the true origin of the artifact will be cast. This is the source of true power to spur the supreme artifact. You can cast Tian Lei Kai, Frozen Pond, etc. here, which directly become the core source of energy of the supreme artifact, the foundation of all power. Of course, the supreme artifacts are just embryos, and there is no energy core cast at all. It's empty here. But now there is a breath of luck in Tianqi. In Tianqi, you can see that an illusory spring eye is constantly vomiting luck. In Tianqi, almost 3/5 of the area has been covered by snow-white cool water. This is the water of air transport. Each drop of water is a pool of water formed by the condensed air transport. Together, this is the luck of Xuanwang town. After the First World War, the gas of the aliens was swallowed directly, so that the pool of water in the Tianqi skyrocketed almost instantly. In Tianqi, a ichthyosaur is constantly migrating, like a golden shadow, bathing in the water. It looks very comfortable. And just then, it can be seen that the spring water that spewed out of the eye of the spring soared without any warning, and the drops of air transported water quickly condensed and gathered in the air transport Tianqi. The water level in Tianqi increased at a rate that was visible to the naked eye. People's mind is luck. It seems that more than 100,000 people have begun to integrate themselves into Xuanwang town and regard themselves as a member of Xuanwang town. The rate of growth of this luck is not long. This luck Tianqi, I'm afraid it will be full. Quote. Yi Tianxing couldn't help but feel a little joy. Qian is the heart of the people, and the heart of the people is like water. If it is not for those newcomers to Baishuan who have initially belonged to Xuanwang Town, this kind of Qian would not have soared. Fortunately, the accumulation of luck requires a very long process. It's not what you want. The water in Tianqi must be completely filled, and the time it takes is extremely long. Generally speaking, it takes at least 1 year, 2 years, or even longer from the town to the real ancient city. Time, 10 years, or even longer. After all, the town's population is limited. Now it is more than 100,000 people at one time. Plus what was originally plundered from the alien race. Let Tianqi be almost full. Let this time be shortened without knowing how long. Step by step, step by step. Yi Tianxing groaned secretly. This is opportunity. However, to promote Shanchang, I must not be so hasty. I will not cast the real Xuanwang Town and Xuanwang City. Even if I am promoted, the foundation is not reliable enough. The casting of the supreme artifact is urgent. A thought came into my heart secretly. Xuanwang Town was mostly destroyed. Yu reads www.yuakanshu.com. He definitely didn't want such a thing to happen a second time. The supreme fairy city must be forged. Try it with your wish beads first. Although it is decided to cast the supreme fairy city with willing pearls, it is still unknown whether it will succeed or not. Naturally you have to try it yourself. A snow-white wish bead naturally appeared in the hands. There is no trace of impurities and no hesitation in this wishing force bead. Without any hesitation, the wishing force has naturally risen in this core space. At this time, the void, naturally, emerge out of a group of imaginary flames, wish Lizu inside. In an instant, I saw that Lizu was in the flame of flame, turned into a white liquid, and disappeared directly into this core space. Then, a thing that made Yi Tianxing laugh in secret was also in his mind. I only saw one of the most marginal positions in the embryo of the supreme artifact, and we could see that there was a slight change in the embryo under the wish beads. Chapter 346, One More Pit. Welcome you, please remember the address of this site. Mobile phone reading, so that you can always read the latest chapter of the novel, Eternal Kingdom. Find a monthly pass. Close black lens bracket. This change, if not for Tianxing Xing, would not have been noticed at all. This change is too small. At the edge of the supreme artifact embryo, there is a tiny piece of hair like hair, condensed from illusion into a solid body, emitting a halo like white jade above it, conveying an immortal will. This scene made Yi Tianxing's face dark. Good pit, a wishing pearl, even cast a small piece of hair as thin as me. This is wishing pearl. Is there anything wrong? The supreme artifact embryo is so large, how many wishes Lizu can completely cast the supreme fairy city? Quote. Yi Tianxing felt that there was a delusion in his heart. A white wish bead, integrated into it, so it turns into a strand of hair, so that no part of the naked eye can be condensed into an entity. If you want to cast a whole Xuanwang Town, Xuanwang City, how many will it take? Willing beads. This is simply a vast project that is almost impossible to complete, a project that is desperate enough. Consumption of wish beads will be an unimaginable number. This is a desperate pit. Casting the supreme artifact is really not a simple matter. However, no matter how big the pit is, you still need to fill it. As long as the embryo is here, as long as you continuously put in the beads of hope, you will still succeed in casting it sooner or later. But I am afraid there is no way to do it in a short time. Quote. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath. Although the process of casting the supreme artifact was a bit too pit, but at least it was more realistic than looking for those top geniuses and divine treasures. May Lizu, after all, be something you can see with your eyes and grab with your hands. Sitting in Xuanwang Town, it now has a population of nearly 200,000. Its own influence has begun to spread to thousands of miles and tens of thousands of miles. As time goes on, the speed of obtaining the wishing force beads will be faster. With every wishing bead incorporated, this fairy city is perfected. Progress can be seen and touched, at least not really depressing. Even if it takes longer, at least you can see hope. This cash cow still remains in the core space. Once the wish beads are gathered, they can be directly refined and integrated into the artifact embryo. Moaning to himself, with a wave of his hand, he only saw that a cash cow who had reached a height appeared in front of him. On the money tree, you can see that Jin Chanchen's light is flashing. A lot of eternal coins have already absorbed the vitality of the world and started to return to the original state. There are still many, white, mixed with a trace golden light. Ding ding ding. A snow-white eternity coin emerged from nothing, like a rufous swarm, and gathered towards the money tree, which was instantly called part of the money tree. This is a monk cultivating eternal coins. At the same time, it brings with it a willingness. Good and bad, all converge in the cash cow. It can be seen that the foreign light on the money tree is constantly flashing. Wow! The money tree trembled slightly, and suddenly, I saw white snowy beads and black magic beads falling at the same time. The number is not in the minority, it seems that there are no fewer than hundreds of them. Coupled with magic rosary, there are thousands of them. May Lizu be immediately enveloped by a blazing flame, directly quenched into a white liquid, disappeared in nothingness. Then, at the edge of the embryo, at a speed that is visible to the naked eye, a small area condenses from illusion into reality. It's really just a small piece, the tip of the iceberg. But after condensing into substance, an immortal will was transmitted, indestructible. It even engraved the mysterious Dao Yun naturally. Very mysterious. Even if the magic weapon is bombed on it, it will not cause real damage to it. May Lizu be so mysterious. Into the supreme artifact, a mysterious transformation has occurred. The magic rosary mints eternal coins. The more eternal coins, the greater the willingness to converge. There are more than 600 here. One can mint 100 eternal coins, which can add more than 60,000 eternal coins again. With a wave, the rosary was closed. These numbers, although not many, are also extremely staggering numbers. After harvesting more than 600 magic rosary beads, the next time it grows, you can harvest more than 900 and more than 1,000, even more. Yi Tianxing has observed that the speed of gathering the will of all beings on the money tree has become faster and faster. According to a devout believer, a white wish pearl can be gathered in 1 year. If Xuanwang town has 200,000 ordinary people gathered together, it is almost equivalent to 1 day. Can gather 500 or 600 wishing beads. Of course, the cash cow can only gather air transport in Xuanwang town by virtue of air transport, eternal currency, and currency circulation. Only by knowing eternal currency, using eternal currency, thinking about eternal currency, and even has a direct and indirect connection with eternal currency, only then will those invisible thoughts come together. There are losses, of which there are good, bad, half. In addition, more than 100,000 people have just joined, and there is no exact concept of eternal currency. Therefore, the thoughts and wishes of these people will not be absorbed by the money tree. However, with the passage of time, eternal coins have completely appeared in their own cognition and will continue to gather ideas condensed on a money tree. At that time, the speed of consolidating the wish beads could become faster. There are gains every day, a large number of magic beads can be obtained every day, and more eternal coins can be minted. Especially when the eternal coin is completely circulated and becomes real currency, the power of converging thoughts will sweep through like a flood and tsunami. The monetary system must be rolled out as soon as possible. Although it is still a bit reluctant to do so now, these days, the next batch of magic beads and wish beads have also been accumulated. After entering the right track, they can harvest a batch of will each day. Although there are not many beads each time, the two can add up, and there are no less than tens of thousands. Forged into eternal coins, it can reach the number of millions. In addition to the eternal coins that have been minted previously, in Xuanwang town it should be able to support the operation. Quote, Yi Tianxing has felt that the implementation of currency must be accelerated. And it is imperative. However, in this case, privatization will be on the agenda. This is a loop-by-loop process that moves the whole body. Did not stay any longer, looked at the spring water quickly derived from Qi Yun Tianqi again, watching the golden fishes and dragons playing in Tianqi's cheerful gesture, a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. After leaving the core space, Yi Tianxing returned to the mansion and went directly into the quiet room. Without hesitation, hurry up and start cultivating again. Each chaotic dragon rune is condensing one after another. The cultivation is a breakthrough. At the same time that the body is transmuting, its own spiritual will is also transmuted, so that the speed of cohesive runes increases and the number also increases. When the mind and heart began to feel tired, they didn't force it anymore, instead they started to take out the Chenkin minting furnace, and sent in one magic rosary, and quickly minted one eternal coin. Jin Cancan is gorgeous. Wish beads, magic beads, coin furnace, currency is the root of a force, it is also the lifeblood in Xuanwang town, it is not appropriate to give it to others. In this case, it will be integrated into Hongmeng Tiandi Tower. There is no room for error. Quote, When casting eternal coins, Yi Tianxing's mind flashed a thought. Coin minting, in any era, is a matter of controlling the lifeline of a force. In ancient times, how many things have caused turbulence due to coin currency? This lifeline is of course the most important thing to grasp in your own hands. What's more, there is the Hongmeng Tiandi Tower in it, a coin furnace. Not only does it not affect the casting of eternal coins, it can even become easier. It can be done with one thought, so as to ensure the secret of eternal coin minting, and even wish the most important secret is Lizu, the magic rosary. Don't show people easily. Immediately, without any hesitation, the Chengkan coin furnace was directly incorporated into the Hongmeng Tiandi Tower. In the end, the 13-story pagoda transformed into a 14-story pagoda, adding another layer. After the Chengkan coin furnace was incorporated into the pagoda, all kinds of materials, willing beads, magic rosary beads are sent directly into the pagoda and put into the Chengkan coin furnace. As long as the thoughts move, they will naturally start casting eternal coins. In this process, the water comes to an end, and the clouds flow freely. Money is power. Financial power is the real lifeblood. Master, Mr. Fu has woke up. He wants to see you. Just then, Cao Zhengchen's voice came out. Please Fu Dao you to rest in the front yard gazebo and let people prepare some wine and dishes. Yi Tianxing heard and said directly. Yes, Cao Zhengchen promised to go and arrange preparations. Not long after, in the front yard gazebo, a table of steaming wine is ready. Yi Tianxing also sat inside the gazebo. www.novelhall.com, Fu Hongxue stomped his feet and walked over. Fu Daoyu, please sit down. Yi Tianxing saw with a smile and said. Fu Hongxue's face has been restored as usual, the original black gas has disappeared, and the entire spirit of spirit has been at its peak. Obviously, it has completely recovered. Fu Hongxue didn't quit, went directly to the gazebo, and sat down opposite Yi Tianxing. The food in front of them is from Lai He. Sanmiao steamed fish, assorted 5 snakeheads. Braised rare bird wings. The precious blood porridge, placed in front of it, exudes a fragrant fragrance, which makes it almost impossible to hold back the desire in the heart. These are top-notch foods, and the ingredients are the best. Taken from the flesh of the ferocious beast. Born with a strong essence, eating it is a great supplement. Even if ordinary monks don't have the gourmet cells in Yi Tianxing's body, they can get a lot of benefits. Chapter 347, by Ding Wenming. Welcome you, please remember the address of this site, mobile phone reading, so that you can always read the latest chapter of the novel, Eternal Kingdom. If you are not a top chef, it is impossible to have this skill, and you can quench all the essence in the ingredients. Taste it, this is the food cooked by Lai He, the owner of the gourmet hall. You are using the best ingredients. You have just been poisoned and injured, and your body will inevitably be depleted. Eating these can nourish the body. Supplement the source. Yi Tianxing smiled, picked up chopsticks, sandwiched a piece of fish, and put it in his mouth. The beautiful feeling of freshness and tenderness at the entrance makes both body and mind intoxicated. Fish is a piranha. The meat is delicious, it is the ultimate enjoyment, even if you have eaten many times, every time you taste it, you are still deeply intoxicated. Eating is a great thing in life. Fu Hongxue didn't refuse. He also picked up the chopsticks, stretched out, clamped a piece of fish, put it in the mouth, and ate it. The whole body and pores of the whole body seemed to be directly open and enlarged at this moment. What an incredible food! Fu Hongxue's eyes brightened, and a sigh of admiration came out of his mouth. Not much to say, but chopsticks in my hand kept coming out, pieces of fish flew into the mouth. Yi Tianxing also did not speak, and also launched an attack with the food in front of him. In the body, a stream of warmth continued to be integrated into the flesh and blood and penetrated into each cell. The food and life consciousness had begun to operate with confidence. Into the body, into the flesh. Unconsciously, physical strength begins to increase again. The master of the food hall is really good craftsmanship. This cooking skill is the first time I have encountered it. Eating it can give people a kind of spiritual pleasure. Fu Hongxue slowly put down his chopsticks in a bowl of snakes. One have already drank my belly and turned it into a hot gas, which circulated in the body, warming the flesh and blood. This feeling is very wonderful. Any skill, to a certain height, will produce incredible changes. This world is different. It is full of too much unknown. Yi Tianxing also said with a smile. In the past, who can see the cuisine made, which can shine, and the fusion of all realms, bring all kinds of unusual changes to the heaven and earth rule of this world. I don't know if Sudenkaku needs anyone. Just then, Fu Hongxue spoke out a word. Yes, the door of Tongtian Pavilion is always open to any monks who meet the requirements. Yi Tianxing said with a smile. I won't stay somewhere for long, maybe I will leave in the future. Fu Hongxue continued. The path to spiritual practice itself is experience. The world is so big. No matter whether it is me or Sudenkaku, no one can restrict the personal freedom of anyone. In Sudenkaku, no one can force it. As long as it is dangerous in Xuanwang town in time, you can return to help. This is a kind of enshrinement relationship. If you stay in Sudenkaku for 1 day, you will receive 1 day's salary. If you stay for 1 year, you will get 1 year of resources. Otherwise, if you leave on your own, you won't be able to pick it up. When you come back, you will continue to pick it up. Quote. Yi Tianxing said calmly, Sudenkaku itself is a loose existence. It's not binding, it's just a place to trade with each other. When you go to work 1 day, you will naturally get a day's wages. If you are not in the post, naturally, this wage will be gone. This is fair, and for many casual repairs, it has huge appeal. Sudenkaku is never a bond, only emotion is a bond. Well, I am willing to join Sudenkaku. After looking at Yi Tianxing, Fu Hongxue said directly. After speaking, I didn't stay any longer, stood up and walked outside. It disappeared in a blink of an eye, left the mansion, and walked directly into the place where Tongtian Pavilion is located. Do you want to use this method to repay the life-saving grace? Yi Tianxing looked at Fu Hongxue's back, and shook his head slightly. Although Fu Hongxue didn't open his mouth to say thank you words, but what he did had already fully expressed the meaning in his heart. If not for this, with Fu Hongxue's character, he might not stay in Xuanwang town for a long time, maybe he will moving forward, like a prodigal son, walking the world, sharpening himself, while watching the world, this world. However, Yi Tianxing did not stop. Tongtian Pavilion is not a cage, but a home for many ethnic monks. Those who are willing to stay will naturally stay, and those who are unwilling to stay will not have any good results if they are forcibly stopped. In order for people to stay, they shouldn't use rules and resources, and more of them should be emotional. It is indestructible to think that please. The flesh is finally going to completely transform and break through the state of Heiding. Reach the second state, the state of Baiding. Yi Tianxing felt the changes in the body. In the food tripod, a pure gastronomic power merged into the flesh and blood of the flesh, a huge amount of heaven and earth vitality poured into the body, and the physical power began to soar again. The benefits of tasting new food are amazing. Especially the first tasting, get the most benefits. Originally, it has reached a power of more than 90,000 kilograms, which is very close to the figure of 100,000 kilograms. Now several new gourmet foods are swallowed, which completely triggers the power of gourmet cells, physical strength, and steadily rising. 97,000 pounds, 98,000 pounds, 9,000 pounds, ... In an instant, the physical force directly broke through 100,000 caddies. Ding! A more crisp sound came from the flesh and blood. In the majestic blood, you can see that a white beading was derived. This bit of white tripod, just like when the black tripod was just born, seemed very illusory. But at the moment of appearance, the blood tumbling in the body suddenly seemed to have a destination, and one after another fell into Baiding. A tripod sounded, turned into a bright white divine light, and penetrated into every inch of flesh and bone. In an instant, flesh and bones seemed to be shattered into fragments, and at the same time they were broken, they quickly reorganized. Flesh and bones began to glow with a radiant treasure. Every inch of flesh and blood contained pure and powerful the force of vitality, a surge of force surging in the body. This power is so powerful. In an instant, the body seemed to break free from a shackle, and the whole body and mind felt unparalleled ease. Under the control of chi and blood, I even felt that the whole body seemed to be fluttering and flying directly into the sky. All acquired impurities in the body, when Baiding condenses, completely shakes into powder. Every piece of flesh is free of impurities and exudes a luster like crystal. The body seemed to be free from crickets. Light as swallow. At this moment, my own sense of the outside world's vitality has undergone tremendous changes. It is 10 times more powerful than before. It is almost involuntarily digging into the body, and the head becomes clear and clear. It seems that some of the previous problems are resolved at this moment. The light of wisdom is flashing. Baiding's blockbuster. The physical strength reaches 100,000 kilograms. When a fist is hit, the fine iron will be smashed into powder. With a frustration at hand, the iron stone will turn into powder. The way of refining is really mysterious. At the time of the black tripod, it was only the body of the day after tomorrow. When it reached the white tripod, it was a nadir metamorphosis. It has been considered to have completely disappeared the mortal body, and the life level has completed a true transformation. The sense of heaven and earth is stronger, and the energy of absorbing heaven and earth is faster. Moreover, even the spiritual will is transformed. Quote, feeling the change in the body, my heart could not help but secretly express emotion. The realm of Bai Ding is indeed more powerful than Hei Ding. Don't look at just adding 10,000 pounds of strength to 100,000 pounds. However, the transformation of the life level and the transformation of the physical body have greatly changed the combat strength. More control over power. The key is the transformation in the body. Can already be regarded as the golden muscle jade bone. The physical body has reached another level. Now I can play the previous 10. The practitioners in Bai Ding's realm can fight with any monk in the realm of life. Mastering physical powers and fighting them up is absolutely violent. Hooking the tiger and leopard by hand, but it is easy. The most important thing is that the physical transformation makes show you on longer. The physical body is transformed first, and it is more capable of nurturing itself. With physical support, my spiritual will has increased. I can gather runes faster and gather more runes. Moreover, the consumption is smaller and the recovery is faster. Quote, Yi Tianxing took a deep breath, and within a moment of thought, the blood in the body converged again, entered Bai Ding, and was hidden in the flesh. The appearance looked no different from ordinary people. How powerful! This is where it comes back to. As long as he does not exert his strength, it is difficult to see through his cultivation practice. It seems that we must find another method of refining the body to practice. King Konglong Elephant Gong has been transformed into the black tripod. www.novelhall.com has given birth to the prison mark and reached baiting. Practicing body exercises can play a huge role in giving birth to a second physical power. Quote, one step at a time, the King Konglong Elephant Gong has already tempered the body and bred physical powers. Although it can continue to cultivate, it will not be of much help in cultivating physical powers in the future, unless it is intended to continue to breed the physical supernatural powers are similar to those of the Vajrayasaurus. It is necessary to cultivate different exercises to temper the body, and the exercises are very rare. For some ordinary exercises, you can only practice the black tripod realm and reach the white tripod, you must look for a higher level of exercise trips. In general, for the white tripod level, there is no way to play a physical training role. Some are from the same source and can be continuously cultivated. For example, the Vajra Dragon Elephant Gong can itself be cultivated to Bai Ding, or even higher levels, and can still temper the flesh. Others need to find top exercises for physical training, tempering the physical body, and strengthening the physical strength. However, I do and need it. There are food cells and food trips are there. As long as there is food, they can continue to change. I do and need strong practice. Instead, you should choose a distinctive method of refining your body. Learn the essence of it and give birth to a special physical power. A flash of light flashed through Yi Tianxing's mind. Chapter 348, Hercules. Welcome you, please remember the address of this site, mobile phone reading, so that you can always read the latest chapter of the novel, Eternal Kingdom. Chapter 348 Strong Bull Demon Body. Other practitioners need to find a higher level of physical training, and general physical training. After reaching a certain level, the physical training will be minimal, stagnant, and the more top training physical exercises, naturally, are increasingly precious and rare. The requirements for quenching are even greater and more amazing, and the resources consumed will be incalculable. The resources for cultivating a refining scholar are enough to train 10, but not more than 100, practitioners of the same level. Not necessarily achieved. Many monks are only slightly involved in tempering the flesh. After all, in the cultivation, the vitality in the body will also have a wonderful tempering effect on the flesh. The higher the cultivation, the naturally the flesh will be worn stronger. You don't need to be able to cultivate. After reaching a certain level, the general magic weapon will fall on the body, and it will cause too much damage. There is no doubt about the strength of the practitioners. Qi practitioners can also say that there is not much difference between Shanghai and Destiny. As long as the demon is awakened in the body, the magic powers they possess are similar. Junyuan, Mingqiao realm has the same level of magical power, and its power is stronger than Shanhai realm. The practice of the cultivator is real, but it is real. The competition is physical strength, physical power, and fighting skills. Fighting warriors. What state is it, what is its combat power, and as much power as there is destructive power. Therefore, this breakthrough in refining the body has reached Bai Ding's blockbuster in the physical strength of 100,000 kilograms, which is the real combat power at the level of life and knowledge. Can crush all monks in the Shanhai realm. The top exercises are difficult to find. Although, King Konglong elephant exercise can be practiced all the time, it is not suitable for me. But ordinary simple exercises are not rare, even if they are few, they can be found among the large amount of exercises collected in the Tibetan scripture pavilion, you should be able to find the corresponding exercises. It is time to go to the Tibetan scripture pavilion. Quote. Yi Tianxing's eyes flashed, muttering to himself. Do what you say, there is nothing else in your hand. The physical body breaks through. You need to slowly pass through the water milling practice to consolidate the runes. You see and wait for it. Now you have reached Bai Ding. Laying the foundation is the most important thing. After a while, he left the mansion and entered the Tibetan scripture pavilion. In the book of scriptures, the old man of Shushan was holding an ancient book of jade books in his hands. He secretly figured it out, shook his head, and saw Yi Tian marching in. He just ignored his eyes. Yi Tianxing just smiled when he saw it. Go to the second floor. Most of the first layer are ordinary ancient books. Some classic records do not exist in Gongfa combat skills. The second level is where the combat skills are stored. Going up, the second floor is almost the same as the first floor. They are a huge space, and the white bookshelves stand up inside, exuding the atmosphere of ancient books, and the fragrance of books is in the air. Here, many monks are choosing Gongfa combat skills. After seeing Yi Tianxing, they all showed respect. However, did not bother to step forward. I want to choose the exercises, the grade does not need to be too high, but it must have characteristics. Yi Tianxing groaned secretly, walking among the bookshelves. Stop and watch from time to time. The number of Gongfa combat skills here has greatly increased. There are already many types of foundational exercises based on the basic Shanhai realm, such as Pure Yuan Gong, Changchun Gong, Aoki Ju, Flame Gong, Soft Water Gong, Jin Yuan Gong, Thick Soil Gong, and so on are all in it. Although it is not top grade, it is also the most gentle and basic method of foundation building. Many are from the books in the tombs of immortals. The iron statue Gong, once practiced, can make the whole body flesh and bones as hard as iron, indestructible, extremely powerful, and invincible. It can be transformed into an iron statue in the fight, and it is indestructible. Above, there are higher level exercises. This is the basis of refining. Quote. A book of refining exercises appeared in the hands of Yi Tianxing. This is not a bad practice of bodybuilding exercises. It can even be said that the top grade is the best. This, iron statue Gong, is only a part of it, and it is only the foundation. On top of iron statue Gong, there is a follow-up method called bronze statue Gong. On it, there is a more powerful, silver statue. Gong is even, golden figure Gong, but in the Tibetan Classics Pavilion, there are only iron figure Gong and bronze figure Gong. Iron statue is on the second floor, and bronze statue is on the third layer. That is the practice of body exercises belonging to the level of Bai Ding. However, after watching it carefully, I shook my head slightly and put back the exercises in my hand. This iron statue is not bad, but it is not what I want. It doesn't have that special feature. Nor will it be stronger than King Konglong Elephant Gong. To cultivate the body and physical power, it is very important to use the power of physical training as a nourishment, to integrate it into the flesh and blood, and to integrate it into the blood. What Yi Tianxing wants is to turn that unique special power into nourishment, not to obtain the so-called powerful physical power. He doesn't need the physical tempering speed or anything. What is needed is that special Dao Yun. The flame burning techniques uses the power of the flame to temper the flesh and temper the bones. The impurities in the body are tempered, the power of the flesh is strengthened, and the strength of the flesh is strengthened against the flame. He even bathed in fire without hurting himself. Blood, like fire, can burn everything when killed. Quote. Another Falun Gong method appeared. This is a method of tempering the flesh with the power of flames. There is a real fire figure in the flames. After you think about it, you can turn the heavens and the earth into a flame, and shuttle through the flesh to burn and quench. In the process, you have to bear the pain of burning the flame. Once it cannot support it, may directly ignite the internal fire and directly burn the body into ashes. The pain and danger are obvious. After all, there are many examples of playing with fire from the fire. Generally speaking, this practice method is not bad. It contains the rhyme of the blaze of fire. Once it is completed, the magical powers it bred will definitely be biased towards the nature of fire. You can look at it again. However, Yi Tianxing did not make a decision immediately. After all, this is related to the second physical supernatural power bred in the future. No matter how careful, it is understandable. Tiger Roar Iron Cloth contains pictures of tigers and beasts. With the voice of tigers, the physical bones are tempered so that the flesh does not penetrate the gun and the fire and water do not invade. When urged, the voice of tigers can erupt. Amazing. In Long Yin Admiralty cover, there are 9 days of dragon enchanting pictures. With the sound of dragon yin, the physical body is tempered to make the physical body look like a real dragon. The diamond is not bad, just like the Admiralty cover, powerful and unbreakable. When it is finished, it can be transformed into a supreme golden bell. During the search, 2 extremely precious exercises for physical training appeared in front of him. The refining effects of these 2 exercises are equally astonishing, and once they succeed, they all have superb magical powers and are extremely strong in body. Thunderfire Real Body is the body that is tempered by Thunderfire. Once it is complete, it can consolidate the real body of Thunderfire and the body of Thunderfire. It can be accompanied by Thunderfire in the shot. Quote. Another Falun Gong method appeared in the hands. This method is not tough, but the same is true of danger. The thunderbolt is more terrible than the flame alone. The Big Bull Demon Body contains the map of the battlefield of the devil, and contemplates the map of the battlefield of the devil, and the body is tempered. In general, you can stand side by side, stand on the ground, and be invincible. The demon is infinitely powerful. Quote. Just then, another exercise appeared in the hands. This is a unique exercise method. Tempering the physical body can produce infinite power, like a ox demon, amazing defense, infinite force, and killing. The destructive power that erupts is very scary. In particular, when the strong bull demon body stands on the ground, it can be connected to the earth, and it can continuously obtain the power of the earth, which greatly increases its endurance. Strength can be continuous and endless. Whether it's Thunderfire Real Body, or Hot Bull Demon Body, or even Tiger Roar Iron Shirt, Dragon's Golden Bell cover, is a very good exercise method. You must choose one to practice to choose the most suitable one. Quote. Yi Tianxing groaned secretly, constantly thinking in his mind. After a little groaning, I finally chose Dense Bull Demon Body. This is not one of the top exercises, but it is a practice with unique characteristics. It is a practice that can use the power of the earth. One's cultivation is equivalent to standing on the ground in the future. The strength can be continuous, endless, and very powerful. Fighting will last longer and endurance will be longer. It is even possible to conceive a physical power connected to the earth. After making a choice, www.novelhall.com, with a thought in mind, a magical light has been shot from the jade book, directly into the body, and countless messages flashed in my mind. Get the inheritance of this practice. In his mind, a strange imagination picture emerged. Looking closely, it is a huge bull demon standing on the ground. The ox hoof is connected to the ground, as if it has completely taken root on the ground. A force is pouring into its body, allowing the muscles under the hide to the naked eye visible speed surged, as if a dragon and snake were shuttled. An intangible Dao Yun passed out. It was heavy, and it was the will of a mad spirit who dared to fight in heaven and earth. Vaguely, once conceived, it will attract the power of the vast earth. The ox demon slams into the sky. Yi Tianxing seemed to see that a terrible and powerful bull demon ran on the ground, and under the impact, the mountain peaks were to be broken, the earth was to be broken, the ground was shaking, the power was infinite, and he was invincible. All sides are invincible. This method is good, but what I need is not just the power of this ox demon smelting body, but also the smelting of this authentic rhyme. Chapter 349, Yumengguan. Welcome you, please remember the address of this site. Mobile phone reading, so that you can always read the latest chapter of the novel, Eternal Kingdom. There are food cells, and there is a food trick. To increase physical strength and eat food, it is much faster than blind cultivation. As long as there is enough food and more power, Yi Tianxing can also eat it. This is his way of refining. All other exercises are auxiliary, all of them are the nutrients in the refining. After getting the inheritance, he walked out without hesitation, nodded to the elderly in Shushan, and left the Tibetan pavilion. Returned to the mansion, in the backyard. Imagine the map of the demon battle. After he came back, without hesitation, in his mind, he naturally began to think about the picture of the battlefield of the demon and the demon. Condensing the imagination map, the milk needs to use its own spiritual will to imprint the Tao Yun will. If one's own mind and will cannot be conceived, there is no way to contemplate it. That is not to mention the practice of this practice. As soon as I think about it, a picture of the battlefield of cattle and monsters naturally condenses in my mind. A huge and powerful bull spirit appeared in his mind. And in the first time, appeared in Shanghai. Boom! At the moment when the imagination map condenses, suddenly, a mysterious Tao Yun emanates from the imagination map. It seems to have an unimaginable impact on the outside world. A stream of heaven and earth vitality naturally merges into the body, quickly penetrates into the sea of Shen, the illusory imaginary picture gathered in the past. At the same time, from the 4 ox hoofs of the powerful bull demon, a strange suction was passed. Immediately, Yi Tianxing felt that under the feet, a powerful force of the earth was flowing along the feet like a tide, madly swept towards the body. As soon as it entered the body, the power of the earth began to shuttle frantically in the flesh and bones, followed by a flesh and bones, under the power of the earth, stiffened stiffly at a speed visible to the naked eye. In the flesh, the dark yellow, flesh, bones, and membranes emerged. At this moment, a terrible scene that caused people to run wild. It's petrifying. Is this going to turn my entire body into stone? My heart was horrified secretly, but there was no way to stop it. The power of the earth was drawn into the body by itself, and it quickly turned into flesh, and in a blink of an eye, the whole flesh became a cold stone completely. It looks like a lifelike stone statue, standing on the ground without breathing. Very weird. This petrification is very thorough, not only the blood, flesh, membranes and bones, but also the blood coagulated together. The 5 internal organs also became stones. Brush. But at the same time when the body was completely petrified, I only saw that after conceiving a lot of heaven and earth vitality, the powerful bull demon actually exuded a vast ancient atmosphere as if it were real, and gave a roar on the sky, 4 hoof fierce the ground began to trample down. From among the 4 ox hoofs, a terrifying bull demon swept out like a storm, turned into a dark yellow ***** light, and passed it on. Appears in the body. Click. The divine light that erupted from the powerful bull demon instantly smashed the petrified flesh and body in a rude gesture in an instant. This smashing seemed to completely shake the entire body into powder. Even if the body becomes a stone, you can feel a strong pain. But this divine light is not only in the petrified part of the broken body, but also in repair. At the moment of smashing, the petrified part is turned into flesh and blood, and the power of the earth is naturally incorporated into the flesh and blood, so that the physical power is natural. The growth has become more powerful, and the power has begun to grow rapidly. This is a very mysterious method. Temper the flesh with the power of the earth, and smash the flesh with the powerful ox demon. Between smashing and reorganization, the power of the earth is completely turned into its own use, integrated into the flesh, and becomes a part of the flesh. This process. But it is the pain of the broken body. If you can't bear it, your will collapse, and you can't maintain the existence of the imagination map, it will fall directly. During cultivation, it is also dangerous. However, this method of cultivation is to smash and reorganize the physical body and integrate it into the power of the earth. The speed of strength growth is extremely fast and the physical defense force will be stronger. As long as it can withstand the inhuman pain of this physical smashing, it can be quickly increased strength. Just smashing the flesh and absorbing the power of the earth, suddenly increased my strength by 1,000 pounds. Quote. Yi Tianxing's eyes were bright. The physical body was shattered and reorganized. The pain was indeed horrible and terrible, but the growth rate was quite amazing. When his physical strength reached the level of Bai Ding, it was a force of 100,000 kilograms. It can be described as one of the few and rare. Others, I'm afraid that tens of thousands of pounds have reached the limit and promoted to Bai Ding. Even if the physical body is too strong, the more the power of the earth is absorbed, the more naturally the strength will increase. It's hard to think at such a speed. It's just that the pain, such as the delight of the food cells absorbing the power of food. If you want to become stronger, you must have the perseverance and will to endure pain. Refining is to temper the will, and today's suffering is the fear of enemies in Japan. Yi Tianxing did not stop there. Instead, he started to practice the exercises and started practicing. In order to transform the powerful bull demon body into the physical supernatural nourishment, the most fundamental thing is to have a strong understanding of the Tao Yun of this exercise, understand the essence, and let the physical body thoroughly melt this Tao Yun power to achieve this. A little. Otherwise, those are just vain. Not to mention the smelting of physical powers. Time passed quietly. From the end of that alien war, half a month passed quietly. Xuanwang town is very lively. The more than 100,000 people who were rescued, after eating meat porridge, their strength and energy began to recover. In the conversation, they had the most direct understanding and cognition of Xuanwang town. When I learned that all the people in the town were monks, I felt a strong shock in my heart. And after getting any people, as long as they are officially the people of Xuanwang town, register their hukou and receive the Tianji card, they can go to the Tibetan scripture pavilion to receive a exercise and warfare for free, and all the people are completely excited. Joining Xuanwang town is almost something you don't want. These days, in the Temple of Heaven, Jia Yukin was busy with people who did not even leave the chair, but his face was always smiling. However, he knows the importance of population. In troubled times, there can be talents and everything, and population, so that there can be greater development, and everything else can be set aside. With so many people joining, Xuanwang town is about to usher in a huge development. Many people have no hesitation in choosing to go to the Tibetan scripture pavilion after picking up their heavenly cards, and choose their skills and techniques. After really getting the inheritance, practice and become more sleepless and forgetful. After experiencing their imprisonment and being tortured by death almost day and night, they realize the value of strength and the importance of strength. No one wants to waste such an opportunity, and they have tried every means to become a monk as soon as possible. Having suffered bad luck, nothing can make them feel safer than power. There are more young people who do not hesitate to choose to join the army and become soldiers. This time, Xuanwang town is really lively. The original broken ruins have been quickly cleared. At the same time, new buildings were built one after another, without the ramparts of the city walls, so that Xuanwang town could spread unceremoniously to the surroundings, and buildings were born like bamboo shoots. In just over 10 days, not only was the recovery as before, but it also became more majestic and huge. The original people and the new people also get along well. The most important thing is that the effects of this war began to erupt completely over time. Outside Xuanwang town, people come from all directions every day and enter Xuanwang town. There are many refugees who come directly to the wind and join Xuanwang town to become the town's people. There are many villages. Come to Xuanwang town, come to trade items. In exchange for resources, have a good relationship with Xuanwang town. There is a steady stream of people arriving in Xuanwang town every day, and there are thousands of people joining it almost every day. In many cases, there are 3,000 or 4,000, and in young cases, there are 1,000 or 2,000. This is the power of prestige and the powerful influence it brings. Suddenly, the entire Xuanwang town seems to become a central area within a mile. In the market, it can be described as lively. This day, outside the Great Wall, Yumun closed. A group of refugees are standing under the Great Wall, looking at the majestic Great Wall, with shock in their eyes. This Yumun Pass is the original canyon passage. After the Iron Blood Great Wall crosses it, it directly forms a checkpoint. This level was named Yumun Pass. Now to go to Xuanwang town, from the direction of the Iron Blood Great Wall, you must pass the Yumun Pass. There is no door in Yumun. But it has a magical power. www.novelhall.com has an invisible barrier. Human beings can pass unimpeded, but the beast monster has no way to pass, and once entering, it will be directly collapsed by that barrier. Enchantment fly out. No entry or exit allowed. This is the mysterious power from the Iron Blood Great Wall. On the Iron Blood Great Wall, you can even see that there is a famous soldier standing coldly guarded on it, and the magic crossbow and bed crossbow can be clearly seen. Archers and pikemen are constantly patrolling the walls. As soon as an enemy approaches, an attack will be launched immediately. As now, when there is a vicious bird approaching, there will be a battle arrow bursting out of the air, and it will be driven away and shot. The area where the Iron Blood Great Wall is located is the territory of Xuanwang town. This iron-blooded Great Wall greatly increased the security of Xuanwang Town. Is this the legendary Iron Blood Great Wall? It is really majestic and amazingly amazing. It is amazing. This is the powerful force our people have built. Some of the refugees said in astonishment. Great, as long as we enter here, we will be safe. I heard that Xuanwang Zhen can kill and defeat even those fierce aliens. It is extremely powerful. After entering, you don't have to be afraid of fierce beasts, and you don't have to be afraid to wake up completely. Quote. Chapter 350, Vientian Yinfujing. For subscription, close black lens bracket. The reputation of Xuanwang Town was passed by a large number of people from the villages after the war with the aliens. It sounded through the quartet. At night, the lighthouse hung high, and it even shone the quartet, attracting a large number of refugees who remained in the wilderness. Came towards Xuanwang Town. Some are passing by those villages and have heard about Xuanwang Town. Instead of staying in the village, they went directly to Xuanwang Town. In particular, the appearance of the Iron Blood Great Wall has sent an invisible deterrent force both inside and outside the Great Wall, allowing many beasts and monsters to subconsciously avoid this area, giving birth to a hint of fear. This makes many people's trust in the Iron Blood Great Wall even stronger. Whenever you see the Great Wall, a kind of respect comes from the heart. This is the Iron Blood Great Wall cast by the predecessors, martyrs. Even if they died during the war, they still cast the Great Wall with the remains to protect the people behind them. This feeling made many people silently look at the Great Wall at night. In my heart, I became more and more firm about the strength and the idea of making the people stronger. Go, let's go in quickly. I heard that in Xuanwang Town, there is food that can't be eaten. Everyone can become a monk. Have the opportunity to become strong. Crossing through the Yumun Pass quickly, after the Iron Blood Great Wall, it will be a breeding holy place for our people. You can live and work in peace, no longer need to be afraid of being killed by a beast and monster in your sleep and reduced to blood. A refugee with a sense of awe, anticipation, longing for the future, and hope, quickly passed through Yumun Pass and saw the majestic Xuanwang Town in the distance. Walked with hope, seeing the constant presence of refugees from all directions to Xuanwang Town, the soldiers and soldiers standing on the Iron Blood Great Wall all showed their pride. The inspections are harder, and they are constantly practicing, striving for every minute, and strengthening their own cultivation capabilities. Xuanwang Town, the Iron Blood Great Wall, and Yumengguan. This Great Wall is even more spectacular and amazing than the Great Wall built by Qin Shi Huang at the time. It is indeed Xuanwang Town, within 1,000 miles, the first town. Here, I can settle well. Going down, I don't need to do things like humming dogs and robbers. I also want to change the evil, and I want to live a good life. In fact, I really did not expect to dig the ancestors of the old Liu family. Quote. A middle-aged man wearing a black shirt with a touch of bitterness on his face was holding an iron chain in his hand. The other end of the chain was tied to a piebald dog, holding a colorful golden pheasant in her arms. No matter how you look at it, there is a weird feeling. Looking at people secretly surprised. At this moment, he was standing in front of the Yumun Pass, looking at the majestic Iron Blood Great Wall, with a look of expectation in his eyes. On the city wall, Yang Yanding was walking around with his soldiers and saw the man carrying a piebald dog with a colorful carnivore in his arms. Shaking his head and lamenting, "It's not easy, the people's character is really simple, even if it's escape, in the wilderness they haven't discarded the poultry and livestock. This is reluctant, such a people is worthy of our lives. Go guard." Quote. The soldiers around him nodded secretly. Middle-aged man holding a chicken and a dog, stepping into Yumengguan step by step, seeing Xuanwang Town, secretly excited in his heart, whispering to himself, "I brought it from the fairy tomb, but the colorful carnival in the legend the egg that is born is definitely a treasure of the world. It is absolutely delicious. If you hatch a chicken, grow it into a big chicken, and sell it, you will definitely make a lot of wealth. My future happiness in life depends on yours now." Quote. Looking at the colorful golden pheasant in her arms, in that gaze, a light of hope was transmitted. Contains endless expectations. After Xuanwangjin defeated the alien army, it has become a real human holy place among the thousands of miles. Become the target of countless humans. Just then, Yi Tianxing, who had been in retreat, suddenly opened his eyes. A flash of light in his hand, Hongmeng Tiandi Tower has appeared in his hand. This pagoda is devouring the vitality of heaven and earth almost every moment, but it has reached the space of 14-story pagodas. To grow it, the resources of the heaven and earth are really too huge and huge. Every day, the pagoda space is only growing by a few inches. It depends on its own growth, and it is only to accumulate thousands of years to produce a significant effect. For more than half a month, not only has he been practicing dense bull demon body, but he has also been condensing chaotic dragon charms. The number of runes condensed has reached a quite amazing number. The mouth of chaos longqi in the body is more and more condensed, and it is almost on the verge of breaking through. The amount of qi accumulated in the body is also quite amazing. Finally wait. Yi Tianxing had a smile on his face. He didn't want to, quickly left the mansion, and came to a large open square in the center of Xuanwang town. In the waving hand, a silver-white door of space appeared directly. Wow! Immediately after, a large number of spars swept away, appearing around the space door, exuding a strong atmosphere of heaven and earth, that rich breath. Open. As soon as my mind moved, the light on the door of the space flickered, and an invisible channel seemed to be directly penetrated by endless power. Connect to a distant area. When the space door was opened, even the power of heaven and earth in Hongmeng Tiandi Tower was poured into it. This will open the channel completely. And the surrounding spar, part of it, turned into powder at a speed that was visible to the naked eye, and the vast vitality of the heavens and earth merged into the space door. The door of space, this is the supreme treasure in the hands of the protagonist. It turned out at this time. Is it to go to a mysterious area somewhere? I feel that behind the door, it seems to be connected to a mysterious and unpredictable tunnel leading to a distant area. It is said that more than half a month ago, General Feng left with the soldiers together. Is this to lead? They come back. Quote. People all around saw that their faces could not help showing surprise, but their eyes were staring at the door of the space. Space gate, is this Wen brother coming back? I don't know if he persuaded Mujajai. Once he really took the people of Mujajai into Xuanwang town, with this feat, he would be in the town in the future. Will be completely stable. Quote. Wu Yong stepped out of a house. After getting the meritorious service point, he immediately entered the scripture pavilion, where he found a superior practice for building basic exercises, which is also a very mysterious exercise. Among the hundreds of schools, the practice method of the sectarians is called Vientian Yinfujing. This technique is amazing. It is a top-notch method from the tomb of Xi'an. The preciousness of its ranks will not be under Blood Heart records. According to the records in it, this Vientian Yinfujing is a top-level method created by Guiguzi. After practice, you can not only achieve great growth, but also multiply your spirit, keep your mind awake at all times, and you can come up with more wonderful ideas. The most important thing is that this Vientian Yinfujing is a very peculiar technique, and it is nothing to open up the Sea of God. But what condensed is the Vientian Yingsu Junqi, that Vientian Yingsu can evolve all kinds of strange visions. There is a strange ability to sense everything in heaven and earth, and it can directly reflect into the Sea of God. The surrounding sceneries can be directly perceived. The higher the revision, the greater the range of induction, even reaching a high depth. With a single thought, the geomorphic environment within 1,000 miles and thousands of miles comes to mind clearly, reflected in the Sea of Gods, forming a projection. To a certain extent, Vientian amulets can be condensed, blowing wind and rain, and affecting changes in celestial phenomena. These, so that those who practice this technique can have the ability to control the battlefield on the battlefield. Control the direction of the war. It is of great help to the display of strategic wisdom. It can be said that this is not inferior to Blood Dan Xinlu, superior work method. Wu Yong wanted to follow the path of a strategist and devise strategies to naturally choose this technique, and the merit points in his hands can precisely inherit the tradition of this technique. After being inherited, he rehearsed the Vientian Yinfujing without hesitation. Only recently has the body's foundations been completely transformed. A previously practiced Yun Gong Hai Gong was directly abandoned and sent to the Tibetan pavilion for 10,000 points of merit. This method is not bad to say. It can not only practice in the Shanghai realm, but also the practice of life and consciousness, and life in the realm of life. Get up to the square and look at the space door. Brush. There was a flash of light in the space door, a figure wearing a battle armor, holding a sword, and directly shuttled from the door. The man looked carefully, and it was Feng Yumo. See Lord. Feng Yumo bowed down after seeing Yi Tianxing standing in front. Get up, what's the situation? Yi Tianxing nodded and asked. Mr. Jia has convinced Mujajai that all the people in Mujajai are ready and will go ahead to report the news. This time people from Mujajai have a population of no less than 50,000 to 60,000. The people of Mujajai are too much to feed, and there is a shortage of food and clothing. Every day, people starve to death. Mr. Jia took the word to ask the host to prepare food in town. Quote. Feng Yumo answered quickly. Lai he. Yi Tianxing heard, www.novelhall.com, a flash of light in his eyes and shouted decisively, immediately lead the chef in the food hall and prepare the meat porridge. It must be enough for 60,000 people. People in the food court, immediately prepare meals and boil congee. Lai he started to mobilize easily. The food court is now crowded. Among the more than 100,000 people who have joined before, there are many chefs with superb cooking skills. Perhaps the cooking skills are high, but such things as porridge, any chef capable. With the help of a large number of gourmet chefs, they set fire to make rice. Suddenly, smoke appeared in the town. It's not the thing to gather people's hearts with food. For those who suffer from hunger, a full meal can make people feel grateful and give a sense of belonging. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 351, Flower Girl. Those who have not tasted hunger do not know what kind of suffering it was when hunger swept through it. In hunger, there is a piece of bread, how much gratitude will be born in the heart. A meal is enough to stabilize people's hearts and initially gather them. This price is simply faint to the extreme. The food in Xuanwang town is almost out of food in a short time. Don't be afraid to eat as much. It's too fast to plant and grow up. If it were not for the integration of all realms and the chaos of heaven and earth, the eternal continent had other ways of dying, but starving to death would be a kind of joke. Sufficient vitality allows any plant to grow up with extremely fast speed, shorter cycle and higher yield. In this case, if you starve to death, it is not a joke. But now, there are killings everywhere, and there is no stability. Cannot grow food, vegetables. Only then will people starve to death. This is the result of the lack of strong strength to protect itself and the safety of the surrounding environment. Without strength, even if food is planted, it will be destroyed by the beast and monster, and it will not be possible to harvest. All will fall to death. Only Xuanwang town has this kind of strength, protecting the people in the troubled times, and protecting the food from being destroyed. In order to get a lot of food, don't worry about hunger. In many villages nowadays, almost all of their mines are resisting ferocious beasts, and the planting of grain is an extremely luxurious act. All they can do is buy grain from Xuanwang town. Grain may be planted in the future, but for now, Xuanwang town is still the center of the surrounding villages. The problem of food has forced them to approach Xuanwang town. Brush. When Feng Yumo appeared, the town was already making fire. You can immediately see the light flashing on the space door. Figures quickly shuttled from the door. I only saw that the first person to appear was a middle-aged man. The middle-aged man was wearing a leather armor made of fierce beast skin. It was very simple and can be seen. He had a fierce atmosphere on his body. That is a kind of temper tempered from slaughter. Holding a sword in his hand, the sword, said to be a knife, might as well be a sword with a huge horn, which naturally carries a fierce gas on it. Very rough, but you can see the dark red blood on it. This is the blade that was tempered with blood. In his body, he can feel that there is a breath of true qi flowing. Obviously, it is a monk who opened up the Sea of God, but the cultivation is not very high. This is Xuanwang town, a portal that can cross thousands of miles in an instant is really incredible. The middle-aged man looked around in horror, seeing that the surrounding scene was obviously not in his familiar cottage, secretly exclaiming. Master, this one is Mu Jai. Mu Yu, Feng Yumo said. You are the master of Xuanwang town. Master Yi. Mu Yu looked at Yi Tianxing, and secretly sighed in his heart. He couldn't see the strength of Yi Tianxing, but he could feel the strength. And very human. The master of Mujai can come. My Xuanwang town really is a real tiger. In Xuanwang town, there are not so many manners. They are all human races. The common enemy is alien races, those monsters and monsters. Yi Tianxing said with a smile. No matter what it used to be, as long as you come to my Xuanwang town, it will be safe after that. You don't have to worry about a beast and monster attacking it and you can't fight. Here, you are all relatives. You should be in the same heart. Work together. Live better together. Quote. Seeing Mu Yu, Yi Tianxing guessed that this was not a difficult person. It shouldn't be difficult to get along. No matter what, I hope that Mayor Yi can be kind to those people. Mu Yu nodded. Please rest assured that everyone in Xuanwang Town will be treated equally. Although it is not absolute fair, it will also be relatively fair. Yi Tianxing said flatly. These will naturally be seen by Mujai in the future. That will never be Mujajai from now on. I would rather be an ordinary people. Mu Yu nodded. At this moment, he can only choose to believe in Yi Tianxing. Moreover, he also looked at the people around him. There was a look of hope on every face. That spirit is invisible in Mujajai, which is why he can make a decision the first time. Nothing more to say. From the space door, you can see that a series of figures emerged one after another. Appears on the square. These people are the people gathered in Mujajai. It can be seen that many people have ragged clothes and pale faces. His body was weak, apparently tortured by hunger. The more people in Mujajai collect, the more difficult it is to feed these people. Part of the food obtained by hunting will not be able to meet the needs of all people. Many people dig grass to survive. Life can be said to be quite miserable. Now teleporting, the hopes and longings for the future are revealed in each eye. It has been spread in Mujajai. This time, we are going to a treasured land of human race. It is not only powerful, but also food that can't be eaten. Don't worry about food at all. As soon as I came over, I immediately smelled the scent from the kanji. Grunt. There was a roar of noise in the body of a common people, and saliva was swallowing. But there was no confusion. As soon as these people came out, the soldiers immediately took them to the open space, ready to wait. In every breathing room, you can see that a steady stream of people emerged from the space door. The number is extremely large and endless. In a blink of an eye, there were already thousands of people in the open space. The eyes of these people are staring at the big cauldrons, and when they see the meat porridge inside, their eyes are shining with green light. Strong desire, strong hunger, are madly impacting their minds and wills. I did not fulfill my responsibilities. Although I brought them together, I was unable to make them live and work. I could not even fill my stomach. I was shocked and scared every day. Every day, people were starved to death, and some people were taken by beasts and turned into food. I know all of this, but I can't do it, can't solve these problems. It's me that Mu Yu can't hold them back. Quote. Mu Yu saw all the people look at the meat porridge in the pot, his face was faint, and he blamed himself. Mu Daoyu doesn't need to blame himself. He can bless the people. For many people, in troubled times, this is already a kind of benevolence. No one will blame you. Without Daoyu, it is possible that they have already died in the beast's minions. It's impossible to live now. Quote. Yi Tianxing said calmly, everyone is responsible for their own survival. Weak meat and strong food are the supreme laws of heaven and earth. If you see and live, even if you starve to death, no wonder that others are useless. If you see and even recognize this, it's just a walking dead, and in Xuanwang Town, you won't be able to support idle people. Everyone is responsible for their own destiny. The sudden drilling of so many people in the town also made the people in the town secretly take a sigh of coolness and shock them. There are also strong emotions. This space gate must be connected to a gathering place. Even when so many people are teleported at one time, our Xuanwang Town is going to grow again. After joining these people, I don't know if our Xuanwang Town can directly break the population to 300,000. Numbers. Quote. I don't know where these people come from, but since they are here, they will be our loved ones from now on. We need to help each other. Come, add fire, make more rice, and thicken the meat porridge. The eyes of the people in the town were all kind expressions. They also came from this situation, and naturally feel empathy. A lot of people, I don't know where the opposite is, but why did the emperor blink when he woke up, and how the whole Xuanwang Town changed a lot, did the emperor sleep for a year? Just then, the Green Emperor did not know where it came from. Taking the 8 steps of Wang, he walked to Yi Tianxing, staring, watching the human beings coming out constantly, still yawning in his mouth. A look just woke up. It's really unethical. When the emperor was sleeping, he didn't know who it was. He thundered directly in my ear, even the ground was shaking. Fortunately, the emperor was smart, blocked his ears in time, and felt comfortable at dawn, but, unfortunately, all the **** in my sleep are gone. Quote. The Green Emperor yawned and pulled out 2 rag **** made from his ears. As he mumbled, he looked at the sky with a maggot on his body. Really lonely like a dog. Bitches, where are bitches? I want pretty bitches. The emperor shouted secretly. I want to sing a song. The Green Emperor suddenly shouted from the sky. No wonder you haven't seen your shadow during the previous war. It turned out that you ran to sleep, and it was more than half a month before you slept. You dare to remember your bitch, and your ration will be halved in the future. Yi Tianxing heard that there was a rush in the corner of his mouth. I don't want to, just kick the Green Emperor to one side. When others sing for money, the Green Emperor sings, that's terrible. It's all a magical sound. It's definitely the most terrifying killer. Did not wake him up forcibly, and now dare to sing in front of him. Boom, the Green Emperor was kicked dozens of feet away. Body rolled on the ground. Just like a bunch of green mold balls, it makes people feel a thick malice. But at this moment, the Emperor's eyes widened completely, emitting a green light, staring at the crowd. The drool came out unknowingly. The whole body jumped up, the whole body was shaking with green hair, and the body was shaking. Yang Tian yelled, Bug girl, flower girl. With a loud roar, his eyes were green, and he rushed towards the crowd frantically. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote, your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 352, Flutter. Flower girl. Yi Tianxing heard that he couldn't help showing a hint of surprise, and looked in the direction of the Emperor's rush. Suddenly, a middle-aged man in a black shirt was holding a colorful golden pheasant in his arms and a piebald dog in his arms. He looked at the figure rushed by the Emperor with horror, with a panic exclamation, Don't come, I'm not a flower girl. The Green Emperor's body is very tall. After being transformed again and again, he is almost the same as a wolf dog. This momentum is quite amazing, and it looks very scary. It's like a beast with a big mouth and big mouth. It's hard to think without fear. In particular, the dog would speak, screaming at a flower girl. God, he's a real big man. When did she become a flower girl? If this was attacked by a dog, the middle-aged person would feel that he would never see anyone in the future. Yelling, turned without hesitation, and plunged into the crowd. The speed was not slow at all, and was not affected at all by the crowd. The slippery was just like a loach, not slippery. Flower girl, don't leave, the battle will be until dawn. The Green Emperor saw and immediately roared. Chased like crazy. Don't come, I'm not a flower girl. Don't chase me, my man. The middle-aged man's face was all dark, and it felt like the small hearts were beating madly, and it seemed to jump out of his body. Undead, the pace under his feet is faster. This scene made the people in the town look stunned and felt stunned. They all know the Green Emperor. This is Yi Tianxing's pet of war, and it's a chatter. When he says it, it's endless. Moreover, the sound is very harsh and unbearable. In the town, it is a plague god. Wherever you go, people are resigned. I'm afraid to avoid it. Everyone is afraid of the role, now even chasing a middle-aged man called the flower girl. This picture, how it looks, how dissonant. What's wrong with the Green Emperor? Are you crazy? How can you chase a man named flower girl? It should be in estrus. The Green Emperor is in estrus. The eyes are green. Get out of the way. Don't be caught by him. Otherwise, you'll be utterly embarrassed. Then you will be completely faceless. It's over. Quote. It's not good. Is it the mayor's kick that gave the Emperor's head a problem? I can't tell who it is. Illusions have appeared. People all around saw that when they opened their mouths and saw the Green Emperor, they all evaded to both sides quickly, for fear of being a little hesitant. The one who was caught would become himself. The Green Emperor's feet were windy, his eyes were bright, and the green hairs on the four dogs' legs stood upright, as if fighting, launching an assault, failing to achieve the goal, and swearing. The middle-aged man in the front is also anointed with oil on his soles, and his heart is unlucky. How could it be like this? He is innocent. He had just entered Xuanwang town, and was too late to be registered, and was hunted down by the Emperor. This is simply a curse from heaven. He is fast, Green Emperor is faster. He appeared behind him in a blink of an eye, slamming forward, and snarled, Flower girl, let the Emperor take good care of you. Feeling the breath sweeping behind him, the middle-aged man sent a terrifying scream and pierced the sky. No, I'm a man, not a flower girl. The voice was like a weak woman about to be captive. Misery so pitiful. Many people can't help feeling sympathy. What? The middle-aged man screamed, feeling a strong wind sweeping through, but after making a scream, he found that he seemed to have nothing at all, but a scream came around him. That call is a little different. Opening his eyes and looking aside, a picture was printed in his eyes, and his face was completely dark at once. All I saw was that on the back of the piebald dog he was holding, the weird green hairy dog was picking on it, full of excitement, and the lower body was still shaking. Between the ups and downs, the piebald dog under him made a pitiful bark. The piebald dog was slammed by the Green Emperor. Flower girl is this piebald terrier dog, Shalwa, has been beaten. The middle-aged man looked at the picture next to him, rubbed his eyes hard, and then showed a hint of fear, saying, "It's over. If the ancestor knew that his little flower was thrown away by a bad dog, then I would really be dead." Quote. Thinking of this, he shuddered all over. When he knew who the tomb was, he knew what he had stolen. This is the beloved pet of his ancestors. Even if he died, he must be buried in a 7-star coffin, so that these chickens and dogs can become saints. One can imagine the importance of this. If the king of Wainan knew that his family's flowers had been slammed by an evil dog, he suspected that he might be thrown into the wilderness and let the beast slap him. It's terrible. You must never let your ancestors know. Otherwise, I'm dead. Lu shook his head and immediately made a decision in his heart. Even if he died, he would not let the king of Wainan know about it. Evidently, the court is in great heat. When Yi Tianxing saw this scene, his face turned black almost immediately, and he felt countless crows flying over his head. Under the glorious day of the Green Emperor, he actually did this kind of thing. As a host, he had no light on his face. Give me back. As soon as I thought, a black and white iron chain emerged instantly, appeared on the top of the Green Emperor, and wrapped around the neck, tied the Green Emperor, and pulled back. The entire body was pulled directly into the air, toward the mansion thrown in. No, my flower girl. The Green Emperor screamed screamingly. 4 claws kept waving in midair. The cry, the one who heard it was sad, and the listener wept. The piebald dog is aggrieved with its tail in his face. Before he understood what was going on, he was thrown, his eyes were tearful. What? Lu went to look at the figure of Luoang who was taken away, and opened his mouth wide, full of surprise. However, at the next moment, a drop of unknown liquid fell from the sky, fell into his mouth, and licked subconsciously, but saw the Green Emperor in the air and the mess in the wind. His face turned green and black in one fell swoop. Vomit. All the internal organs rolled, and in one breath, all the contents in the stomach were vomited. The gesture was like vomiting out the intestines. Looks startling. I lost my face this time. Yi Tianxing saw that there was a sudden withdrawal in the corners of his mouth, and he had decided in his heart that when he went back next time, he would have to learn from the Emperor of the Green Emperor. It's a stupid dog to make a flower girl and don't know how to find a quiet place. It is really a stupid dog to do such a thing in the public. A quiet humming in his heart. Looking at the mansion thrown into the Green Emperor, with a trace of badness in his eyes. In these episodes, we can see that there are more and more people coming out of the space door. Gradually, the empty square has become crowded with people. As the saying goes, if there are more than 10,000 people, they are like mountains and seas. Unconsciously, a total of 50,000 to 60,000 people arrived in the square in turn. Immediately after, I saw a soldier wearing a battle armor quickly rushing through the space gate. In the process, a stretcher was lifted out, and a woman was lying on the stretcher. At first glance, the woman could feel a kind of British spirit that is rare in a woman. Even if she was in a coma, she could clearly feel this unique temperament. In particular, with its beautiful face, this face is inferior to Kai Yan. It can show its radiance under the temperament, and it is not inferior to any woman. However, such a woman was lying pale on a stretcher at this moment, unconscious. People can't help but feel compassion. After that, I only saw Jia Jia in a black robe stepping out of the space door naturally. Behind him, there were no other people. The protagonist, Jia Yi, does not humiliate his mission. The people in Mujajai are 63,275. All are here. Jia Yi came to Yi Tianxing and said with a smile, with a touch of expression in his face, confidence. This is a gift of incarnation given by him. He successfully persuaded a large group of people to come this time. This feat is enough for him to gain a firm foothold and a solid position in Xuanwang town. Mr. Wen worked hard to persuade the owner of Mujai to increase my population in Xuanwang town again. No one can obliterate this feat. As soon as my husband arrived, he did so much for Xuanwang town. Sir, starting today, Sir is my chief military officer in Xuanwang town. Quote. Yi Tianxing said to Jia Yi with a smile. At the beginning of a troubled world, it is difficult to estimate the foundation of such a large number of people. Especially the ability to bless the people and resist the invasion of fierce beasts. At this time, population is the most important and most critical. Anyone is precious. This ceremony, Yi Tianqing willingly. It is not hesitating to honor the name of the chief military officer promised before. Congratulations to Wen and brother. In the future, we will work together to build Xuanwang town. I was not good at strategy before. Now that Wen and brother are here, the protagonist can add a lot of strength and fill a gap. Huang Chengyan came over and looked at Jia Ao, said with a smile on his face. Who is Jia Yan? www.novelhall.com, he will not wonder. Really speaking, Jia Yi was born before him. However, now is the eternal continent, everything is new, and whoever grows up is young, there is no need to be too real. Brother Cheng Yan is polite, Xuanwang town has you in charge, Vientian renews. We need to support each other in the future. Let Xuanwang town grow up and become a holy place among my people. Jia Yan said with a smile, his expression was mild. It is like a spring breeze. It's very easy to develop good feelings. It happens that Huang Lao is here. In front of these people, Huang Lao needs to make arrangements to fill up his stomach first, then register his family register, and get a Tianji card. Everything is done in accordance with the previous rules. Yi Tianqing's head said. Inform all the principals in a 6-door, 2-tower and 6-room halls to come to the chamber in the evening. First, we will introduce the military division to let everyone know, and secondly, we will discuss the matters of military reform we previously discussed. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote, your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 353, Return of Jin Peng. For subscription, close black lens bracket. My husband is assured that my husband will make these arrangements properly. Huang Chengyan heard it and nodded. Take Miu Miu to my mansion. Arrange the room, I will come back later to investigate and heal the wounds. By the way, let Dr. Chu and Wang Fu go to check the injuries. Let Miu Miu take the Moonwell water. Yi Tianqing spoke again to Cao Zhengchun. This Miu girl has fallen into a coma. The specific injury needs to be carefully investigated. If it can be treated by normal means, it is naturally the best, which can save the precious Yibao healing elixir. If it can't be cured by normal means, it can also be cured with the holy medicine. Thank you Yi Daoyu. When Miu Yu heard it, she was overjoyed and quickly thanked him. This is a condition I have promised before, no thanks. Yi Tianqing smiled indifferently. Yes, brother Miu, niece Ji Tianxiang, is not a dead man. I believe that the protagonist shot, to heal the internal injuries, should be captured. It won't be long before you can see Mu's niece wake up. Jia Yan also said with a smile. This was his reliance on persuading Miu Yu. If something really happened, he wouldn't face Miu Yu. Howl. Just then, there was a loud howling in the sky. In Li Shaosheng, you can see that in the sky in the distance, a golden figure approached quickly. This figure opened its wings and was hundreds of meters in size. Cover the sky, exuding strong coercion, full of momentum. Sharp eyes, looking towards Xuanwang town. In the town, many people feel as if they were suddenly stared at by death, and they have an unspeakable chill. Jinpeng, finally back. Yi Tianqing saw a smile on his face. My heart was also secretly relieved. At the time, Jinpeng and Fengshen Wing Dragon King slaughtered together. The more they slaughtered, the farther they were from Xuanwang town. Until it disappears completely, if it were not for killing a large number of fierce birds in the war and gaining a lot of luck, the contractual induction between itself and Jinpeng would still exist clearly. I didn't worry too much, but I didn't come back for more than half a month. If I didn't worry about it, it was false. Now seeing Jinpeng's return in person, he nodded secretly. Breaking through to the second level, Jinpeng has begun to have the supreme prestige of his ancestors. The momentum is extraordinary and very divine. The blood pressure was so loud that all nearby birds were completely silent. It's Jinpeng, the mayor's Mount War pet. I used to fight with the wind god Pterodactyl King, but I haven't seen it. Now I'm back. I must have won in the fight. It's great. Jinpeng guards our airspace in Xuanwang town. Generally, the venomous birds will never dare to approach our Xuanwang town easily. In this way, it will be more secure and there is no need to worry about violent birds being culled from the sky. The people in the town saw the joy on their faces. The existence of Jinpeng greatly reduces the danger in the sky. dare to approach, almost all were torn directly by Jin Peng. Now becoming a second-tier fierce beast, the deterrence will be stronger. Those who dare to approach are definitely few in number. Seeing Jin Peng's return, one's sense of security increased greatly. And the people of Mujajai who just came in, seeing such a huge Jin Peng, turned out to be the pet of Xuanwang Town's war, and suddenly felt infinite confidence in the future. Most of the fear of the outside world suddenly disappeared. Peace of mind. Howl. Jin Peng descended from the sky, but he stood directly on an arrow tower and did not land on the ground. Even so, the strong wind brought by the huge wings made many people unable to stop going backwards. Under the strong wind, even your body is unstable. Just flapping the wings can blow people directly and roll them up in the air. This prestige is extremely scary. With huge claws, one adult man will be caught on the spot and become mud. Those eyes, like sharp arrows, made people feel stinging. Looking at the cold and sharp eyes of others, when they saw Yi Tianxing, they flashed a soft color. Boom! Yi Tianxing suddenly flashed a strange color on his face, and then stepped directly on the ground. The whole body suddenly rose to the sky and landed precisely on Jin Peng's back. This grasp of power has reached an outrageous point. Lao Huang, things in the town will be taken care of by you for the time being. I'll go out. Other things, I will talk about it when I come back. Yi Tianxing looked at Huang Chengyan and said quickly. You can rest assured. Huang Chengyan nodded and agreed. Know that things going out should be related to Jin Peng. It doesn't matter, it won't be decided at this time. Go. After commanding, he said directly to Jin Peng. Howl. In a loud howling sound, Jin Peng spread his wings again, waved between them, and rose into the sky. Fly towards the distance. Standing on Jin Peng's back, swimming in the sky, looking down at the four sides of the earth, an unspeakable feeling pours into the soul, only the feeling of holding the whole world in his arms. The whole soul seems to be sublimated. Swimming above the sky, it really can make people's minds broader, their minds and will be tempered. The sky belongs to the field of the strong. Taking a deep breath, Yi Tianxing felt the change of his spirit, secretly sighed. Jin Peng, where are you taking me? When Jin Peng returned, a message was passed from Jin Peng's body to his mind. The meaning conveyed in that thought was to let him follow a place, and it was very important. It was this message that allowed Yi Tianxing to decide to follow Jin Peng without hesitation. Jin Peng said this, it must be that there are important things, major discoveries are right. Howl. Jin Peng didn't answer, but just made a loud cry. With Yi Tianxing quickly broke through. After a while, I saw that the scene below changed. Suddenly appeared in a strange area. There is a paddy field. What is it? The wind god winged dragon king was nailed to the ground. Scarecrow, there are so many scarecrows. He fixed his eyes on the bottom. Although the distance below was far away, it was not a problem for his eyesight. He could easily see the scene below clearly. But it was precisely that he could not help taking a sigh of coolness on the spot, and his eyes showed horror. The pupils could not help shrinking sharply. I only saw, underneath, a golden field of rice. In the paddy field, stands a scarecrow whose name does not seem very eye-catching. The number of scarecrows is very large. If you look closely, there are probably tens of thousands of them. The most frightening thing is that among these rice fields, there is a cold body. These bodies turned into a pile of white bones, and the golden rice fields around them were very bright. Jin Chenkins, full of vitality and hidden aura. One can feel at a glance that this is definitely not ordinary rice. These are not ordinary rice, but lingmi, lingu. Jin Chenkin, this is golden wheat. Yi Tianxing looked at the golden rice and wheat everywhere in the whole valley below, his eyes flashed with excitement. The wordless book in the body first appeared the message of those rice. Golden wheat, a kind of spirit rice born from adhering to the spirit of gold. The whole body is golden yellow and emits golden light. In the sun, it is very dazzling. It is ripe once a year. Once mature, the wheat grains contain a rich golden gas. The use of metallic monks can enhance cultivation, strengthen the physical body, and can temper the physical body. It has a great hardening effect on the physical practitioners, increases physical strength, and ranks the best. You know, Lingu is also divided into ranks, and the ranks are divided into God, Immortal, Heaven, Earth, Zan, and Yellow. 6 major grades, each grade is divided into lower grade, middle grade, top grade, best grade. The 4 major grades are 6 grades and 24 grades. This golden wheat can reach the top grade, and its preciousness can be said to have reached a rather incredible level. Such treasures, when eaten, have inestimable benefits for cultivation. The aura contained in it can definitely make cultivation soaring. In particular, if this rice is eaten, there will be no impurities, and it is definitely top-notch. Tonic. Once obtained, it will definitely have inestimable benefits for Xuanwang town. It can be made into a holy place. After the food that is usually eaten becomes this kind of golden wheat, the speed of cultivation will inevitably reach an incredible level. A burst of fiery in my heart. But it did not go down immediately. Eyes fell on an open field, and you can see that on that open field, the huge eeless pterosaur king was caught by a large golden net, a stiff net, and on the wings, a bamboo stick was inserted to place nailed to the ground. Blood continued to flow down from the wound, and it was shocking to see. The most important thing is that this function pterodactyl king has not died yet, and Yang Tian made a loud and screaming sound of sorrow and indignation. Want to struggle, but there is no way to do it. On it, the huge golden scarecrow was standing on his back. As he was about to struggle, he held the bronze bamboo stick and smashed it into his head. Once hit, the pterosaur king fainted. Dizzy. Obviously, that stick is absolutely unbearable. Around there was a scarecrow holding a straw, www.novelhall.com, to sew back and forth on his body. It seems that in the fight, he suffered a considerable amount of damage. But not dead. The scarecrows around were patrolling nervously. Looking at the paddy fields around, I was afraid that some enemy would come to attack. Even the wind god Winged Dragon King is planted here. These scarecrows are not easy. Yi Tianxing secretly took a deep breath and looked at the scene below, his heart secretly stunned. These scarecrows can harvest rice fields here, and even the wind Winged Dragon King is suppressed. It is conceivable that the combat strength is so strong that even the second-tier Fierce Beast King cannot be blocked. How cruel is this? You took me here, did you want to save this function Winged Dragon King? Yi Tianxing frowned slightly, looked at Jin Peng, and asked directly in his head. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 354, Savior. At the end of the month, asked Zhang. Close black lens bracket. Howl. Jin Peng nodded and expressed his meaning. It turned out that Jin Peng fought fiercely with the function Winged Dragon King at first, because Jin Peng was also promoted to the second order realm, which is also the second order king with noble blood. It was even earlier than Jin Peng that the two were fighting together, and the fight was dark. The cyan storm and the golden storm kept colliding. The destructive force produced was as if two tornadoes were entangled. Not only in the sky, but also on the ground. Broken into pieces by the storm. Countless fierce birds and beasts fled after hearing the wind, retreating from the house. A lot of fights can be described as evenly matched. No one can win easily. Eventually, while walking, I came to this valley. This time, it was a disaster. Two tornadoes raged, sweeping the valley, smashing and breaking many paddies in the valley. At this point, the group of scarecrows in the valley was completely annoyed. I don't know why. Throw a large net and directly net the eeless Winged Dragon King and Jin Peng together. A large group of scarecrows pulled down below net, pull down hard. Pull them towards the ground. That picture, Jin Peng thought it all, it felt terrible. That big net didn't know what was going on. Quite weird and tough, even if the wind blade is cut on it, there is no way to break it, but there is golden light, even the second order king cannot be torn. The number of scarecrows below is astonishing, one by one, just like tug of war, grasping the corner of the big net, pulling down hard. The more the number, the greater the power that erupts. At that time, Jin Peng's scared feathers were all upright. The sharp feathers were chopped on the big net, and they kept chopping. While the eeless Winged Dragon King and Jin Peng fought before, the strength of the body itself has already consumed most of it. Pulled down again, there was no strength. Once it fell to the ground and looked at those scarecrows, you can imagine that the end will never be better. But just about to be pulled down, the function Winged Dragon King suddenly burst into a force, rushing up and rushing into the air with a large golden net. A gap cracked open. Taking advantage of this outbreak, under the gaze of function Pterodactylus, Jin Peng also instinctively walked through the gap and got out of the big net. However, immediately after the outbreak of the wind god Winged Dragon King, the scarecrow was pulled down to the ground again. Moreover, after Jin Peng was missing, it fell off immediately. Smashed to the ground, even if a large number of wind blades broke out, shattered the straw a lot. But then the golden scarecrow knocked on his head with a stick, completely knocked out. now comes to an end. Depending on the situation, it is clear that if it continues, the life of the wind god Winged Dragon King will be lost here, and it is almost impossible to escape. After Jinpeng got out of trouble, he immediately returned to Xuanwang town and brought Yi Tianxing over, just to see if he could rescue the wind god Winged Dragon King. Although it is not clear what exactly happened, Jinpeng wanted to save the Function Winged Dragon King in front of him. It's not easy to save it. Yi Tianxing frowned slightly and groaned secretly. In this valley, the number of scarecrows was amazing, and there were golden scarecrows standing directly on the Function Winged Dragon King. Although there was no large golden net, their wings were nailed to the ground by bamboo sticks. It's hard to rescue. Even the king of the wind god wings was suppressed, and the horror of the golden scarecrow can be imagined. Definitely pretty scary. Jinpeng heard that the light in his eyes couldn't help getting dim. Brush. At this moment, I only saw that the golden scarecrow below seemed to be sensitive to Jinpeng's arrival, raised his eyes to the void, a pair of golden eyes appeared under the straw hat, and a golden light appeared. When Jinpeng saw it, he didn't even want to, and immediately burst wildly into the distance. The golden light spread apart, it was a big golden net. If I hadn't avoided it just now, I was afraid that it would be covered by the big net, pulled down in the air, and fell down. If Jinpeng hadn't already been on alert, this time, if he didn't pay attention, he would be recruited on the spot. With a keen insight, the scarecrow can become so scary. Yi Tianxing secretly took a deep breath. The world has changed so that people can't understand what kind of strange monsters can emerge. This scarecrow doesn't know its origin, but the biggest possibility is to merge the monster species that evolved in the game world. He remembers that in the game, the scarecrow is also the most common type of monster in the game. But in the process of turning into reality, there must be strange changes. This is no longer a simple unreal monster, but it appears on the eternal continent. The real species are alive, and it can even be said that they are wise, and definitely not rampant. But how this scarecrow was born is puzzling. Scarecrows cannot cross each other and reproduce. But if there are so many, there must be a way to reproduce. If you can get a way of breeding scarecrows, maybe these scarecrows can be used for their own purposes. Become an armed support, otherwise, birds will have an extraordinary effect. Yi Tianxing secretly thought in his mind. Also these Lingmi, you must not let it go. The superb Lingmi on the ground floor can create a strong gate. If such a good thing is let go, then it should be thunder and thunder. For the desire of the golden wheat below, there was no cover on his face. Such a treasure he naturally wanted. Once obtained, the legendary Lingmi can be planted. Not only that, if you can get scarecrows, planting Lingmi can be foolproof. You should know that when the Lingmi grows, the aura contained in it will attract a large number of birds, pests, and no guardians. When mature, you will not even have half a grain of Lingmi. All will be killed by birds and pests. The Lingtian bred by Dantian Mingqiao in my body can be used to plant these Lingmi. The cultivation of Lingmi needs to be planted in Lingtian. Thinking of Dantian Mingqiao, which is still very empty, I have a golden wheat, the desire is stronger. There is no other way to save the wind god pterosaur king. It depends on whether this pterosaur is smart enough. Looking at the struggling pterodactyl king below, Yi Tianxing frowned slightly, his heart moved. An ancient silver-white door appeared on the ground instantly and stood in front of the pterosaur king. The distance is short, just a few steps forward to rush in and touch. The appearance of the space gate immediately attracted the attention of Function Winged Dragon King. Before that, the figure of Jinpeng had been found. Now looking at the door of space, a look of hopelessness suddenly appeared. Howl! It seemed as if a huge force suddenly emerged in the king of Function Winglong, struggling hard, and the bamboo stick that originally held the two meat wings was pulled up from the ground stiffly. The blood was dripping, but it didn't care, and both eyes crawled towards the space door with madness. The outbreak was so sudden that even the golden scarecrow standing on it was thrown out. Seeing that, a head of pterodactyl had reached into the space door. Snapped. At this moment, the bronze bamboo stick was once again pounded heavily on the head of Pterodactyl King in the hands of the golden scarecrow. With this blow, the Pterodactyl King's head was blinded, and Venus was jealous. I just feel dizzy. It will faint directly to the ground, but in the end it is a second-order king, the blood in the body is strong, and the will itself is extremely amazing. Feeling a kind of life and death crisis, a loud scream was heard, the flesh fluttered, and a blue violent wind emerged. He rolled his body and rushed into the space door. A flash of light had disappeared. All of this is long to say, but from the emergence of the space gate to the uprising of the function-winged Dragon King, all the processes, even one breath, have been completely completed. The thief ran away, the thief ran away. Running the food thief, running the food thief. The scarecrow around saw the eeless pterosaur king fled without a trace, and immediately made an angry shout. One by one, waving the weapons in their hands, gave out a sharp roar. One by one, very angry. The golden scarecrow looked up at the void, and there seemed to be a strong warning in his eyes. Obviously, it was guessed that what had just happened was made by Jinpeng and Yi Tianxing. However, he didn't try again, just guarding the paddy fields all around, even a fly didn't want to fly in. Is it necessary to mobilize the army to kill directly into the valley? In this case, even if we can win, I am afraid it will cause huge losses. As soon as this idea appeared, it was suppressed by Yi Tianxing without hesitation. He would never do such a thing unless he had to do so. Xuanwang town is in the development stage. If it is necessary to lose a large number of elite soldiers due to attacking the scarecrow, it is not worth it at all. However, it is not necessarily impossible to deal with these scarecrows. Yi Tianxing's eyes flashed, and a dark battle bow and meteor bow appeared in his hand. With the bow in hand, it naturally exudes an invisible momentum. Heavy with sternness. A bone battle arrow appeared in the hand. www.novelhall.com. The battle arrow was placed on the bowstring, and the arm spit it out. Naturally, the entire battle bow had been easily pulled away. At the same time, a burst of true energy has been poured into the bone arrows and blended into the meteor bow. Pull the bow and shoot the arrow in one go. Almost in a blast, the bone war arrows have burst out. While the puppet shot out, the entire battle arrow glowed reddish flames. This was the flame arrow. The flame arrow in the bone battle arrow is stronger and more powerful than the flame arrow in the rune arrow. Burst faster. Suddenly, the bone war arrows had appeared in front of the golden scarecrow. This arrow, through heart. It can only be seen that a red streamer passed through the void. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 355, Scarecrow. Tomorrow is Monday again. Ask Zhang for more. Close black lens bracket. What is archery? Archery is the art of killing. An arrow is to kill, and its ultimate purpose is to kill the enemy with one hit. For every arrow, if you want to kill people, you must be fast and accurate, and at the same time have a powerful force that tears everything. Strength is fundamental, archery is performance. When shooting an arrow, it is necessary to carry a ruthless will mentality. The most basic archery is to go straight and walk through Yang in 100 steps. When reaching high depths, archery is proficient in heart, and it is easy to make 2 arrows in one shot, and 3 arrows in one shot can hit the target. Now, under the tremendous power of the meteor bow, this bone battle arrow is swept away in an instant and appears in front of him. Bold thief, want to get the idea of food? I will not let you do it. Before that streamer, the golden scarecrow responded extremely fast. The bamboo stick in his hand appeared in front of the white bone battle arrow at an inhuman speed, and it was so simple and straightforward to strike. Boom! On the bamboo stick, a burst of bronze light erupted. In one blow, the surrounding air made a violent explosion. The aftermath of terror made the space seem to shake. The picture looked quite scary. The power contained in the bone arrows is more than 10,000 caddies. The meteor bow, Huang Jia Yipan, needs to be pulled apart. The required force is at least 10,000 kilograms, and 10,000 kilograms can be pulled apart, but it is only a little bit. Jin of strength. This is only the first grade of Wang Ji. To reach the second grade, the required power will be higher. For now, in that arrow of shooting, the power it contains is no less than 70,000 or 80,000 kilograms, or even stronger. Coupled with the power of infuriating, hole-breaking force, all make the power contained in this arrow to the extreme. Not to mention a normal monk, even a practitioner of the hiding realm would be pierced with a single arrow. Could not stop the power of the battle arrows. But when I went down with the golden scarecrow, I saw that the bone arrow was annihilated in front of it, and was directly smashed into powder. The force of the violent flames contained in the battle arrows was forcibly beaten completely. Collapse. No power was revealed, and it was so shattered. It's a powerful force that can directly turn the bone arrows into powder. The strength is more than 100,000 kilograms. Does this scarecrow exist like a cultivator? It is the physical body, the purest. Power. This is not magical power, not magic, but pure power. Moreover, the grasp of power has reached a point where it is almost as heavy as a weightlifter, and it hits it lightly, as if weak and weak, but it can let the power spit out in a real collision. This is more terrible and rare than stiff force. Yi Tianxing's eye pupils could not help but slightly condense, revealing a dignified color. This scarecrow is obviously a very different kind of life. The whole body is made of straw. As for whether there are 5 internal organs and 6 organs, I don't know if it can open up the sea of God, the way. Refining can also have terrifying power. No less than any practitioner. Even more powerful. If all scarecrows were such masters, the power of these scarecrows would be difficult to estimate. These are not ordinary scarecrows. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he wouldn't believe that some scarecrows could even be compared with the practitioners. This is simply the talk of the night. Thief, thief. The golden scarecrow looked at Yi Tianxing, who was standing on Jin Peng's back, exposed his golden eyes, and uttered a shout. Thief, thief. Get out. Stealer. Get out. A scarecrow waved a bamboo stick and roared, as if driving away. It looks like a rainbow. That look was very fanatical, a kind of willingness to give his life to protect the rice fields. Then try again. Yi Tianxing's eyes flashed a fascination, no hesitation, and once again pulled the meteor bow apart. A bone battle arrow appeared on the bowstring, and in a clear sound of cracking, you can see that the battle arrow broke like a meteor again out. However, this time, the battle arrows were no longer fired at the golden scarecrow. Instead, he shot at an ordinary scarecrow. Moreover, the distance from the golden scarecrow is quite far, and even if the golden scarecrow is willing to stop it, it will certainly not be able to intercept the battle arrow in the shortest time. The speed of the battle arrows is too slow to make people react. It has already appeared in front of a scarecrow, and, unceremoniously, fell on the chest, and a layer of divine light appeared on the scarecrow. The straw seemed to become the toughest plant wood rattan armor to block the battle arrows. Unfortunately, these defenses are futile in the face of the powerful powers of the arrows. The battle arrows punched through the body, tearing a big hole in the chest directly. At the same time, in the wound, the violent flame power erupted immediately, ignited the body, and the flames, the power of the flame, spread rapidly to and from the scarecrow, and vandalized. Wow! A scarecrow carried a bucket and splashed quickly at the scarecrow on fire. Put out the flame on the scarecrow. The speed of splashing water is extremely fast, and the straw on the scarecrow seems not simple and extremely tough. Even if it is a flame that burns, it is temporarily suppressed. A bucket of clear water splashes on it, and the body immediately emits green smoke. The flame was extinguished in an instant. Fire wood, the scarecrow is composed of wood and straw throughout the body. The flame is their nemesis. It is born with restraint. The power of the fire can resist. The scarecrow is really training the flesh, and tempering to the restraint of attributes can be resistant. Quote. Yi Tianxing looked at the scarecrow who had been put out of flames. His body was burnt, his body was turned into ashes in many places, and his chest was cracked, and the wood skeleton was exposed in many places. No other scarecrow splashed water, and in just a few breaths, it might burn it to ashes. But even in this way, the burned juvenile is still in the shape of a scarecrow, still conveying the breath of life, still not dead. Vitality can be called tenacious. There is no heart attack, even if it is burned like this, it will not let it die. The key to this scarecrow, I don't know where it is. This arrow hit the heart and was still dead. Obviously, that's not fatal. Even so, the scarecrow fell to the ground at this moment and could not fight again. I'm bound to get the spirit rice in this valley. As long as the scarecrow can't fly, I can shoot them one by one. As soon as he thought, the bow of the meteorite in his hand was pulled open again, and another bone arrow appeared on the bowstring. A battle arrow broke through, followed by another battle arrow through the sky. The bow and arrow way naturally has a strong advantage for the powerful. With the power of Yi Tianxing, even if the bow is continuously opened, there will not be any fatigue, and the blood will naturally make up for the physical consumption. Every arrow shot out was fast and accurate. A food thief is here to grab our food. It hit the thief. A famous scarecrow yelled. Some scarecrows held bows and arrows in their hands and shot towards the sky. With their strength, the arrows they shot were not slow, but they were not put by Jin Peng in the eyes, and they would shoot. The arrows that came over forcibly broke and flew out. Insufficient strength will not hurt Jin Peng at all. Instead, every arrow shot by Yi Tianxing hit a famous scarecrow with precision, and he hit the key one after another. There are direct holes through the chest, and there are holes through the throat. Shoot your head. All fire arrows are used. Once the arrow is hit, it is directly ignited, and the flame covers the whole body. The scarecrow is not a living target. Every action is not slow. Even some scarecrows act strangely and have magical powers. It seems that the steps are upside down and unadjusted, there is no regularity, but they can be in the slightest. Avoid the arrows of war. This pure archery attack made Yi Tianxing's heart not secretly realize a trace of insight. I saw with my own eyes that the scarecrow was able to avoid the arrows of war he fired, and his mind seemed to be stimulated by some kind of accumulation of the arrow path. www.novelhall.com, unconsciously gushing out, turning into a ray of light in his mind, into perception. Various thoughts collided in my mind. Archery is about killing with one hit and killing with an arrow. If the arrow can't even hit the enemy's body, then there is no way to defeat the enemy. No matter how fast the arrow is, it may be avoided by others. The arrow that goes out is meaningless. Quote, someone has a flying knife in their hands. Even if they do and take it, they can directly put it on the bright side, which can make the other party dare not to have the slightest movement. This is a powerful deterrent. Is the most terrible. Similarly, without arrows, the deterrence is the strongest in a way. Quote, if arrow road is to be the most extreme and reach the point of being supernatural, the most important point is to let the enemy have no dodge. This kind of inevitable dodge, the airlock is only a good means. The strong and even the most precious are in the body. You can break the lock of this kind of machine, or even make it misleading. The most obvious is that it should be a prejudgment. It can determine the reaction of the other party in advance, expect the enemy to take the lead, so that it can be done without any disadvantage. Quote, anticipating the enemy's opportunity and making a prejudgment is not only a matter of eyesight, but also a talent and a powerful deduction. Just like Yiki's way, if you take one step, you can see that the next 10 steps, or even dozens of steps, have no strong deduction force. It is almost impossible to do this. In order to anticipate the enemy's opportunities and make a real prediction, we must observe the movements, wishes of the opponent, and even the changes in the body when we step out. We must be aware of it in an instant, do the deduction in your head. Quote, Yi Tianxing groaned secretly. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote, your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 356, Arrow. For subscription recommendation, some come 1. In order to do this, we must have mental strength and extremely strong willpower. Otherwise, the so-called anticipation is nothing more than a castle in the sky, a moon in the water, a flower in a mirror. Whoever you are, you have always been a ghost since you were a child. If your willpower is not strong, you will have gone mad. Your spiritual will, after cultivation, will undergo metamorphosis and become stronger and stronger. The spiritual will, in the final analysis, is rooted in the soul is powerful, and everything is logical. While the soul is inside, the flesh is the surface, the flesh is powerful, and the blood warms the soul, which naturally can make the soul stronger in the subtle influence. In order to reach Bai Ding's realm, Yi Tianxing's physical body cultivation cultivates the soul in the blood and blood of the body. Spiritual will is increasing every moment. This feeling is quite mysterious. On the basis, Yi Tianxing has all the prerequisites to complete the prejudgment. Looking at the scarecrows crooked, it seems that there is no pace at all, but they can avoid the arrows of high-speed shooting, although this probability is not high, they may be avoided. With this possibility, it is a challenge to one's own archery. If you can't crack it, you will be killed in one hit, but it's just a joke. No deterrent. Unconsciously, his eyes began to narrow, but the arrows in his hands did not stop, but he shot quickly, and the arrows broke through the sky. There are battle arrows that can hit directly, and some are dodged by the weirdness. Shoot again, instead of using a fire arrow, but a piercing arrow. The armor-piercing arrows are sharper and faster. Although they will not turn into flames after hitting, they can easily penetrate through powerful bodies. Of course, for a scarecrow who can barely find the threat is much less than the flame arrow. But it can give the scarecrow more time to be his own target. Verify your own archery time and time again. The target's left leg trembled slightly, and according to the response, it should move to the left. Eyes were locked on a scarecrow, and all the changes in his body were reflected in his eyes. Observed in the slightest, without missing any point, he could pry out the key information of his final direction and movement. A deduction was made in my mind, and a battle arrow had been fired. Almost the next moment, it appeared in the position of the show. However, it was found that the calculation was incorrect. The scarecrow's left leg did move, but instead of leaning to the left, he used the force to dodge to the right. The target leans forward and should step forward. A deduction was made in my mind again, and the battle arrows shot again. This time, hit the scarecrow directly. As if the scarecrow appeared directly on the empty trajectory of the battle arrow, and slammed into it, any dodge would be turned into futility. Too late to make any evasive action. Open the bow again and again, and shoot arrows. Every moment in my mind is making a lot of deductive calculations. At the beginning, 9 out of 10 such predictions will fail. The scarecrow is not a normal human or even a beast like flesh and blood life. Their movements often need to be the moment before they move completely. Capture it thoroughly, even make estimates and make predictions. Unlike normal life, it can be from the direction of muscles, the flow of blood, even the response of meridians, the beating of the heart, and so on. Make a prediction. In the face of a scarecrow, to make a prediction, it is possible to give it only 1/1000th of a second. I almost read that the battle arrows in my hand were about to shoot out. And over time, the accuracy of predictions began to increase. 10 arrows can hit 2 or 3 arrows each time. After hitting or even failing, Yi Tianxing kept thinking about the previous picture in his mind, re-observed, and got a deeper understanding of why he hit and why he failed. If he hits, then his own guess is correct and correct part of it is naturalized into accumulation. If it fails, it is observed back and forth, constantly looking for the cause of its failure. Find the cause and verify again and again, until the point of failure is thoroughly eaten, thoroughly integrated, and turned into their own use. When shooting again, the shooting rate also started to increase. As for any movement of the scarecrow, what changes will follow, it also starts to become clearer and clearer. Unconsciously, predicted hit rates began to grow rapidly. It even reached the terrible level when 10 arrows were shot and it could hit 7 or 8 arrows, or even 9 arrows. With a live arrow target such as a scarecrow, it is predicted that the arrow is getting more and more mature, and it can be said that it is growing rapidly. This is like a thick accumulation of thin hair. Originally, there was a deep foundation. Now it is excited, and it is directly transformed into amazing strength. The scarecrow was faint from below. For those who put cold arrows in the sky, it is called qi. However, no matter whether it is archery or throwing a bird-catching net, there is no way to get jinpeng. Either it was avoided or it was shot straight. In the midair, always hovering. Can't drive away, can't kill, just put a cold arrow in the air. The scarecrow has not encountered such a difficult opponent. Even the golden scarecrow looked at the sky with a hint of helplessness. He can't fly. Archery is the art of killing. The most fundamental key is to hit. The way to predict is to observe, deduct, and estimate the greatest possibility. This should be only the most preliminary. Real unsolved arrows are not only about prediction. It's also about locking, directly locking the opponent's airframe. As long as the airframe is locked, the arrows that are fired can be made to respond at random and change from time to time. Make the most direct response to the enemy's actions. Even if you escape, all corners of the earth can be traced. Hitting the target, that kind of arrow is the most terrible. Quote, as the predictive arrow became more and more proficient, a scarecrow figure suddenly appeared in his mind, and he constantly flickered to reflect the other party's movements in his mind. In an instant, he completed the deduction and made the final prediction. When doing this thoroughly, the whole mind and mind seemed to be completely sublimated in an instant. His own perception of arrow road emerged from the soul like a tide. Converging together, naturally condensing into one. Brush. In Shanghai, we can see a snow-white rune appearing above it, and a pattern of icy war arrows emerges on the rune. On it, a sharp edge was passed. Seems to pierce the sky. In Fuyu, a self-contained space, inside, a white battle arrow stands. This arrow is not long, only 3 inches long, but it gives people a sense of overwhelming and indestructible. It seems that everything is blocked by an arrow. In this battle arrow, a powerful will that passes forward and destroys everything. This is even at this time, it is condensed. Yi Tianxing felt the change in his body, and couldn't help but pause. A strong joy appeared in his heart. In the real meaning of martial arts, the arrow is the most difficult to condense. Only by constantly practicing archery, when my own perception of archery reaches a certain level, or even mysterious ideas are produced, a great breakthrough is achieved, coupled with constant killing of the enemy, and a strong confidence cultivated, with all invincible beliefs, gather all the feelings of Arrow Road can finally condense the true character of Arrow Road. The birth of the ultimate arrow. Arrow, all invincible. In an instant, Yi Tianxing's eyes added a touch of sharpness. The bow of the meteorite in his hand was pulled apart again. A bony battle arrow appeared on the bow. At this moment, it is not only that the vitality is poured into the battle arrows, but in the arrow rune, an arrow is poured directly into the battle arrows. The battle arrows broke. It can only be seen that a golden streamer passed through the void. Shoot at a scarecrow, the scarecrow hides to the side, but strangely, this hide, but directly sent the entire body in front of the battle arrows. Seems like he hit the arrow directly. The battle arrows passed through the scarecrow almost easily. As he pierced his body, a sharp golden light flashed on the battle arrows. Followed, I saw that the scarecrow fell directly to the ground, motionless. It seems that this arrow caused an inestimable damage to it. Much worse than being burned by flames before. It's the arrow. The reason why these scarecrows can move freely like life, even have wisdom, www.novelhall.com, then the body must have an independent will like the soul. Otherwise, it is impossible to produce wisdom. These scarecrows the spirit does not know where to hide, or it can exist in any area at will. It is difficult to be injured, and ordinary injuries cannot threaten them. But the arrow is the true meaning of martial arts. Supreme will is capable of damaging the soul. The arrow and the true meaning of martial arts are the nemesis of these scarecrows. Quote. In the first moment, Yi Tianxing's mind emerged. Already aware of the key to the scarecrow. The war arrows without arrowheads had limited damage to the scarecrow. At best, they only destroyed the body, but could not destroy the soul and will in the body. An arrow attack can bring out the strongest power. The arrows are meant to be raised and killed. The more you kill, the more sharp and terrifying the sharpened edge will become, and the arrow will grow faster. In particular, he found that the war arrows shot out under the infusion of arrows seemed to vaguely produce a strange response to the target. Seems to lock the other party's air blower completely. This kind of lock on the air machine is very mysterious, if it is absent. But it does exist. The stronger the arrow, the greater the chance to lock the target and pursue the marriage for thousands of miles. There is no dodge. If you can continuously improve the arrow, it will no longer be difficult to lock the air. At that time, it was the real prejudgment arrows, arrows of death. Arrows have no emptiness. Quote. Yi Tianxing secretly produced a hint of insight. I did not expect to be able to gather arrows at this moment, it was an unexpected joy. What's more, the most important thing is to gather the arrow, which means that you are already qualified to practice the peerless arrow. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote, your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 357, Zuyan Fruit Tree. Since obtaining the 4 Elephant Sky Arrow scriptures, Yi Tianxing always wanted to practice this peerless arrow method. Unfortunately, the threshold is too high. To cultivate, the most basic thing is to condense the arrow, only to consolidate the arrow. In order to visualize the 4 elephant demon beasts, condensing the 4 elephant arrows, and exerting the unique power of this arrow technique, it can be said that this is not an arrow technique at all, but an arrow path. Pure arrow direction. The condensed arrows contain even more terrible destructive power. Extremely powerful. However, this is obviously not the time to cultivate this peerless archery. I'm going to try. Is this golden scarecrow really resistant to arrows? Yi Tianxing's eyes fell on the golden scarecrow. Secretly in my heart, there is no hesitation. The bow of the meteorite has been pulled away, and a bone-bound battle arrow appears on it. This battle arrow is not a piercing arrow, but a wind arrow. The speed is the fastest of all arrows. All he needs is the ultimate speed. Bow and arrow. The arrow pointed at the golden scarecrow. In the arrows of battle, the arrows swallowed and gave birth to an invisible air machine, which immediately enveloped the golden scarecrow. Seems completely locked. However, this is just an illusion. The battle arrows broke. There was a cyan light shining on it. If the breeze was entangled, it was almost to the extreme, almost no blink of an eye, and the battle arrow had appeared in front of it, bombarded straight towards the heart. Boom! The golden scarecrow saw, his eyes flashed, the bronze bamboo stick in his hand came first, and once again hit the battle arrow. The speed was not inferior to the battle arrow. When the two collided, the bamboo rod radiated a strong light. A strange rhyme flowed on the bamboo stick. Overlaid on the battle arrows, you can see that the entire battle arrow was annihilated under the bamboo stick at an speed that is visible to the naked eye, like the snowflakes in summer, and melted away into nothing, so it disappeared. The arrows in the battle arrows all melted and annihilated together. A war arrow containing terrible power, even an arrow, disappeared directly under the bamboo staff. That kind of picture brings an unimaginable shock. This is a supernatural power. The supernatural power has been bred in the body of this golden scarecrow. What a supernatural power. Even the arrowheads disintegrated and collapsed instantly under the bamboo stick, and they could not compete. Yi Tianxing's heart vibrated secretly. Pure power, unless it reaches an impersonal level, is impossible to defeat the arrows directly. Although the power of the golden scarecrow is terrible, it can never reach that level. Once the true meaning of martial arts is condensed, it has an almost immortal character. It was crushed by a bamboo stick. Above, he saw the rime of the magical powers. This is not pure power, physical power, or life-knowing magic power bred in itself. Without hesitation, Yi Tianxing opened the bow of the meteorite again and shot out with a stun. This time, it was the armor-piercing arrows that were not only sharp, but also tougher and stronger. Extremely sharp. Ding! However, what happened before appeared again, and the golden scarecrow did not hesitate to hit the bamboo arrow with a bamboo stick. The divine light flowed above, the golden light on the armor-smashing arrows dissipated, and the implication of the arrows began to disintegrate, even the battle arrows themselves annihilated. Sure enough, the scarecrow who has reached the realm of Bai Ding has a mysterious magic power that can disintegrate and smash all attacks. Yi Tianxing's eyes fixed, and 2 successive trials have made him clear. This golden scarecrow does have magical powers, and he is extremely powerful. His arrow training can be broken, which is no longer powerful. Go, leave here first. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath, glanced deeply at the golden scarecrow, and uttered a voice to Jin Peng. Immediately left the valley and headed away. Jin Peng did not resist, knowing that the scarecrow below was not easy to deal with. Between the wings, I have been flying far away. The golden scarecrow saw Jin Peng's departure, and the golden eyes slowly closed back, and began to command other scarecrows, and continued to inspect the rice fields. At the same time, he also took out a pile of straw. Many scarecrows were sitting together, holding straws, and weaving them so fast, weaving out one scarecrow, but the scarecrows just stuck out, apparently dead, without any spirituality or strength. Is a furnishing, but they didn't stop, they were still pinching the scarecrow. On a mountain peak, Jin Peng appeared at the top of the mountain with Yi Tianxing. Standing still, Yi Tianxing also appeared, a pagoda in his hands. When he waved his hand, the pagoda flashed light, only to see that a behemoth appeared directly in front of him. If you look closely, that's awesome. The wounds on the wind god Winged Dragon King have almost healed. For the second-tier beast, the injuries on the flesh can be recovered in the shortest time by virtue of their huge blood and even vitality. Not to mention, at least the basic combat power has been restored. Fighting may be weaker than it was at the peak, but it will never be too weak. The Function Winglong King appeared, looking at Jin Peng, and also looking at Yi Tianxing. When he saw Yi Tianxing, his eyes still looked extremely cold, and a trace of hatred was clearly visible. Function Winged Dragon King, as a second-tier fierce beast, your wisdom is enough to make you understand what I mean. Although you don't know when it happened before, but you saved Jin Peng. Jin Peng is my pet, so I come here and rescue you, too. This is a life-to-life. No one owes anyone. If you intend to continue to be my enemy, then don't think I will be merciful. Quote. Yi Tianxing looked at Function Pterodactylus and said flatly. His temperament is like this: grace is grace, enmity is feud, and gratitude and resentment are clear. Then he chooses whether to be an enemy or a friend, or a war or a peace. He has no fear. The power of this choice lies in Function Pterodactyl. If he really wants to be an enemy, he will never stay if he fights. Is the enemy, then die. The Function Winglong King heard that the light in his eyes was unpredictable, and from time to time he showed fierceness and hesitation. He looked at Jin Peng again, looked at Yi Tianxing, and suddenly a loud howling sounded in the sky. One wing fluttered up between wings. Fly towards the distance. Suddenly, the choice was to leave. Howl. However, as soon as Jin Peng saw it, he was in a hurry and issued a loud howl. He flew out without hesitation, and chased towards Function Winglong King. Can't wait to look. Function Pterodactyl is the mother, Jin Peng is in spring. Yi Tianxing saw Jin Peng's impatient appearance, and a black line appeared on his head. What season is it? The Green Emperor was in estrus, and fluttered a flower girl. Jin Peng seemed to be in spring, and chased after the Function Wing Dragon King. If so, maybe something very interesting would happen. Jin Peng chased Function Pterosaur King into the air. The Function Winglong King saw that his head was tilted and he flew forward proudly. Jin Peng twined up and was slapped to the side by one of his wings, but Jin Peng persevered and kept entangled and rushed up. In this entanglement, it was flying away. Even the master Yi Tianxing ignored it. Disappeared directly into the distance. Forget about the Lord and keep unfamiliar animals. Yi Tianxing saw that he couldn't help shaking his head and smiling. Seeing that Jin Peng would not return in a short time, he did not wait any longer, looked at the surrounding terrain, and quickly climbed down the mountain. Instead of climbing with his hands, he jumped straight down. Even if it was tens of meters high, it jumped down and landed on the ground without causing any harm to the body. Even if the mountain peak was high, it came to the mountainside in a moment. Just as I continued to climb down, suddenly, a touch of red appeared in my sight. Don't even think about it, quickly approach the place where the red light glows. This approach, suddenly, I saw a small tree appearing in front of the cliff. It was a small tree 2 people tall, very vigorous and powerful. Deeply rooted in the cliffs, the leaves appear like pine needles. Emitting cyan. Yu reads www.uakanasu.com. On the tree, there is a vermilion fruit hanging. The fruit is not very large, only the size of a baby's fist. It exudes the gorgeous color of vermilion, which makes people love it and is extremely yearning. Pass a strong vitality. It's Zhu Yangguo, Xuanji's elixir. Yi Tianxing saw that he could not help secretly exclaiming. In my mind, a message has emerged from the wordless book. Zhu Yangguo. Zhu Yangguo trees have always grown on cliffs and draw the essence of the sun and the moon. It blooms for 300 years, results in 300 years, matures for 300 years, and can reach a maximum of 1000 years. It has the beauty effects of beauty and beauty, keeps the face old, restore youth, and cure scars. Grade Xuanji superb. It is possible to refine a beauty sacred product such as Yang Yandan, which is enough to make its value completely exceed its own grade, and its value increases from tens to hundreds of times. No woman can care less about her appearance. If you can keep your beauty and youth, it will be enough to make countless female practitioners crazy. At any cost. Good things, if you can get them, let alone say that refining elixir like Yang Yan in the future will be enough to make a large number of female practitioners crazy. Looking at the fruit tree of Zhu Yan, Yi Tianxing had a strong desire in his heart. If such a precious tree is said to be unwanted, it is absolutely false. My Dantian Mingqiao is already hungry and thirsty. This kind of elixir is the best place to plant it in Dantian Mingqiao. Yi Tianxing's mind secretly came up with a thought. Then he began to think about the fruit tree approaching the past. But as he approached, his pupils shrank involuntarily. On the fruit tree, he saw a strange light. Remember the first domain name for this book, www.4020.la. 4020 Novel Network Mobile Version Reading URL, m.4020.la. Chapter 358, Netherfire Butterfly. It was a dim light hiding under the pine needles. It was these glooms that made Yi Tianxing's fiery heart suddenly become cold, and his eyes were full of horror and shock. He looked carefully at the tree of Zhu Yan and hid in the pine needles. He could see that he was standing still, with a big or small butterfly. That glimmer of light was emitted from the butterfly wings. Refraction before my eyes. That gleam, it's cold. It feels a kind of coldness from the heart. These butterflies standing on Zhu Yan fruit trees are definitely not ordinary butterflies. Heaven Fire Butterfly, the legendary death butterfly born from the Netherlands, contains the sacral fire, which, once triggered, will immediately turn into hell fire, ignite the enemy, and burn to ashes. How can such a creature be? Will appear here. Quote. When he saw those weird butterflies, a message naturally appeared in his mind, letting him know the origin of these butterflies. This is simply a group of death butterflies. Everywhere you go, you bring death, and once you ignite the fire on your body, it will be completely turned into a bone erosion fire. Endlessly, usually sleeps most of the time. However, if you are awakened, you will endlessly die for the enemy. The most taboo to see living creatures, any living life, will become their target of attack. Secretly in my heart, if I didn't find it just now. I really want to run into it, and I am afraid that it will be hit by unimaginable damage, and even fall under the eroded fire. This world is full of unknowns and dangers. No one dares to say that he will be able to live. In the wilderness, to die, it is simply not easy. Maybe in the blink of an eye, it will fall. Sure enough, it is not that simple. Such a spirit tree cannot be without the guardianship of a ferocious beast. To obtain it, it is not so easy. Before that, we must find a way to solve these ghost butterflies. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath and groaned secretly. Obviously he can't do it by giving up Zhu Yangguoshu. In this case, we must find a way to get rid of these dark butterflies, or even solve them. Howl. Just then, there was a loud howl in the sky. All I saw was that a bald eagle seemed to have found the Zhu Yangguo tree, and when seeing Zhu Yangguo growing on the tree, he immediately dived down from the sky and grabbed a Zhu Yangguo directly. From leaving to appearing in front of Zhu Yangguoshu, it was just a blink of an eye. Not even a breath. All actions have been completed. However, when the vulture was about to fall on the tree, it had originally made a loud scream, showing the color of horror, and fluttered into the sky with a horror, looking like it could not wait to escape. Unfortunately, it's too late. It is too close to the Zhu Yan fruit tree. It was too late to turn around and retreat to the void. On the Zhu Yan fruit tree, a dreary dark fire butterfly had been awakened, and at the same time flew its wings, and when it flew, it found the figure of a vulture. Suddenly, a faint blue flame emerged on the wings of a dark fire butterfly without warning, and instantly expanded by dozens of times. Like a huge fireball, it struck lightningly towards the buzzard. Whistling, as if without weight. The speed of the outbreak was extremely fast. With the wings dancing, the nether flare has fluttered directly on the vulture. The bald eagle sent out a fierce howl, desperately resisted, and flew from one feather to another, turned into a sharp arrow, and bombarded the fireball transformed by the underworld butterfly, but strangely, the underworld seemed to be unreal and was hit. It did not collapse, but a layer of dark fire spread directly on the feathers, and the feathers lost their luster at a rate that was visible to the naked eye. The inch-by-inch annihilation became powder. Followed, and quickly flung on the vulture. The condor screamed screamingly. Struggling, unfortunately, there was no effect at all, and the whole body was covered by the underworld, just like a flamingo. The vulture did not give up the chance of survival, and rushed into a small river and got into the water, but the river water, however, it had no effect on the fire on its body, and it could not be extinguished. Almost instantly, a huge vulture had turned to ashes, and the death was miserable and looked very strange. That picture is quite scary. There is no way for the vulture to extinguish the underworld fire. Once it is ignited, it will directly burn flesh and blood. The bones, everything, all become fuel. Not even a trace of resistance could be ignited, like a torch, into ashes. It's a terrible morning fire, a terrible morning butterfly. The morning fire burns, ordinary water cannot be extinguished. The fuming fire turned into a fuming butterfly, and fell quietly back to the Zhu Yan fruit tree. For the scene just now, I don't feel anything at all, it seems to be normal. It is conceivable that the number of fierce beasts and dead birds like the vulture that die under the dark fire butterfly every day is definitely not a small number. The dark fire on the dark fire butterfly is the fire of death. If that is the case, I may not be able to restrain them. Suddenly, Yi Tianxing's eyes brightened, and a thought flashed in his mind. Immediately after a few deductions in my heart, I felt that there were no major flaws in it, and immediately walked out of the hiding place. Step by step towards Zhu Yan fruit tree. Brush. The emergence of Yi Tianxing immediately caused the Ningguo butterfly, which had not been completely silent, to fly up, staring at them with a pair of eyes. Without any hesitation, a meditation butterfly vibrates its wings again, and a faint blue meditation fire emerges from the body, like a fireball, quickly swept towards Yi Tianxing. The meditation fire is in the air, erratic, and erratic. It is difficult to capture its flight trajectory, it is really like a butterfly, it is very strange. The speed is surprisingly fast. Yin-yang mirror. Seeing that he was flying towards his own Ningguo butterfly, Yi Tianxing didn't panic on his face, and gave a soft drink in his mouth. As the voice falls, I just saw that an amazing ancient mirror appeared in front of me. This ancient mirror is black and white alternate on the ancient mirror. Exudes a mysterious Tao charm. In an instant, the yin and yang mirror has become snow white, and from the white mirror surface, a pure white divine light burst out. Like the same little sun. The infernal fire emanating from the inferior fire butterfly, in the presence of this white ***** light, suddenly occurred an incredible change. The original weird fire was in front of the white ***** light, as if snowflakes had touched the sun, sending out strange weird noises, a trace of flames, passing away instantly, and disappearing on the spot. Vanished. The underworld seemed to meet the nemesis, disintegrating almost at the speed visible to the naked eye. Just a few of them couldn't breathe. Under the yin-yang mirror, not only did the infernal flames vanish into futility, but even the infernal fire butterflies made a scream of screams in an instant, as if burned by flames, and instantly turned into ashes. No dregs were left dead. And it's not just one. The yin and yang mirror once again covered a ghost fire butterfly under the ***** light, and the ghost fire butterfly also followed in the footsteps of the previous one. Quickly annihilated at a speed visible to the naked eye, turning into fly ash. In the divine light, a pure yang power that reaches to the yang is transmitted. For the underworld on the underworld butterfly, it is an absolute nemesis. With unparalleled restraint, this is simply the collision of yin and yang. However, it is clear that the dying fire of the dying fire butterfly is still unable to resist the power of the yin and yang mirror. With just one shot, it immediately turns to ashes. 1, 2, 3. The yin and yang mirror kept bursting with divine light, and each time let a dark fire butterfly annihilate the spot. Turn into powder. The yin and yang mirror has two sides. The black side can let the living life die, and the white side can make the evil things instantly annihilate and become fly ash. It can be said that, for different enemies, the yin-yang mirror can show different powers. It can be said that the yin and yang mirror is the nemesis of these dark fire butterflies. Dozens of fireflies were turned into ashes in front of the yin-yang mirror one after another. Those Ningguo butterflies who rushed forward and culled also seemed to feel a strong breath of death completely, and suddenly evaded to a distance. Looking at Yi Tianxing became extremely daunting. Good chance. While the phoenix butterfly was stunned by the yin and yang mirror, the moment she left the fruit tree of Zhu Yan, Yi Tianxing didn't even want to rush to the fruit tree, and took out the shovel in the first time, infuriated him, and went crazy on the cliff dig it up. At his speed, the physical power, www.novelhall.com, this excavation is almost astonishing. With just a few breaths, the roots are dug out. Then he came to the tree and reached out his hand, and the whole spiritual tree was pulled out. The damaged root and whiskers are very rare. After being pulled out, the Zhu Yan fruit tree has been sent to Dantian Mingqiao. Appeared in the Lingtian, quickly complete the process of taking root. A strong spiritual temperature was brought up, and when pulled out from the ground, it looked a bit decadent. The Zhu Yan fruit tree was restored to life at once, and even the vitality emitted was stronger than before. These processes are long to say, but they are completely completed in just a few breaths. Then, without even thinking about it, he fled towards the bottom of the mountain quickly. Between several vertical jumps, there are dozens of feet and hundreds of feet away. Wow! On the sky, the Ningguo butterfly, who was extremely jealous of the yin and yang mirrors, saw that Zhu Yangguoshu, who was living in her, was pulled out by Yi Tianxing, and immediately became furious. A terrible phantom fireball, quickly rushing towards Yi Tianxing. That look, I can't wait to burn Yi Tianxing completely to ashes. However, Yi Tianxing is not even vegetarian. Yin and yang mirrors shot one after another without hesitation. Almost every divine light directly kills a netherfire butterfly. In an instant, he rushed down the mountain and into the jungle, and his whole body disappeared quickly. Those fuming butterflies constantly shuttled through the mountains and forests. They wanted to find the thieves who stole the fruit trees of Zhu Yan. After searching for no fruit, they even killed the beasts around them and burned them with ashes. Finally left unwillingly. Remember the first domain name for this book: www.4020.la. 4020 Novel Network Mobile Version Reading URL, m.4020.la. Chapter 359, Chemical Pond. At the end of the month, ask for a monthly pass. Close black lens bracket. Night is getting dark. In a small valley, you can clearly see that, even in the dark, there is still a scarecrow whose name is almost the same as that of a normal human. Disappear. The golden rice fields, in the dark, can even emit a hint of golden light. Let the valley not be without light, but can illuminate the surroundings clearly in the faint light. At least simple objects can still be clearly seen. A famous scarecrow did not relax his vigilance because it was night, and was still watching nervously. Densely packed, Almost no fly can fly in. Outside the valley, a pair of eyes quietly looked into the valley. Looking closely, it is simply Yi Tianxing. After collecting the Zuyan fruit tree, he did not hesitate to rush out of the valley for the first time, and at night, he turned his mind again and hid his mind in the valley. It's really well guarded. Almost none of these scarecrows know how tired they are. Yi Tianxing groaned secretly, and did not shoot in the dark. For these scarecrows, there is also a trace of respect in their hearts, because they have faith in their hearts and have something to hold on to. When I saw the figures of the scarecrow shouting to defeat the food thief during the day, I was secretly amazed. There is faith, there is something to guard. Such a race is enough to be respected by anyone. Otherwise, Yi Tianxing will not retreat easily during the day. He is not incapable of dealing with the golden scarecrow, whether it is his magical powers or the Hongmeng Tiandi Tower. Even if you fight by yourself, you may not be inferior to the golden scarecrow when you fight against the body. However, he hesitated to see them desperately guarding the paddy fields, at the expense of their lives. This will eventually retreat, but he didn't really leave. This golden wheat is too precious, and its value and significance are of extraordinary significance to the future of Xuanwang Town. It plays a pivotal role. He did not come to continue to fight with these scarecrows, but wanted to get golden wheat. Golden wheat is rare, but not impossible. As long as you get some seeds, you can continue to cultivate, breed more, and cultivate more golden wheat. As seeds, eventually, they will be planted on a large scale. Take the seeds and leave. As long as these scarecrows don't walk out of the valley and attack the humans, there is nothing wrong with keeping them. Yi Tianxing secretly had a thought in his heart. Suddenly there was a rune in his hand. This fuyu exudes a very mysterious atmosphere, giving people an illusion of nothingness. Fuyan invisibility. This is not an ordinary invisibility, but a different treasure rune that was previously obtained. It has been bred from heaven and earth. It has the ability to be invisible. Ordinary invisibility will be found by the golden scarecrow, but this one will never be found. This point, Yi Tianxing is extremely confident. With a break in my heart, the invisibility has turned into a streamer and penetrated into the body. Followed, you can see that the whole body has undergone an incredible change. As if in an instant, vanished into nothingness. The whole body became light and fluffy without weight. It disappeared directly from heaven and earth, and there was no trace at all. Even the ventilator was hidden. This is terrible. After hiding, as soon as the mind moved, the body quickly moved forward. Into the valley, even if there were scarecrows in front of them, those scarecrows turned a blind eye to him, as if all they saw was nothingness. Nothing. Sure enough, this invisibility is indeed a treasure of heaven and earth. It is not a loss to use here. Although it only has an hour duration. This time is enough for me to accomplish anything. Yi Tianxing secretly rejoiced. The goal was clear, approaching the pass directly into the paddy field. These golden wheat exudes a strange fragrance. In fact, these lingmi have matured. Yi Tianxing did not directly move the whole golden wheat, but carefully picked a grain of golden wheat rice from the top. On a golden wheat plant, if 1 or 2 grains of wheat are missing, it is just an insignificant thing, even a dozen or 20 grains are missing. You can't see it at all. The production of golden wheat is not low. Without any hesitation, the grains of golden wheat were just so easily picked up, quickly sent to Dantian Mingqiao, and planted in Lingtian as soon as possible. No matter what, planting first is the most important. And, in the process, the other scarecrows didn't even notice it. As if not feeling the same. Throughout the valley, the amount of golden wheat planted has reached an astonishing level. Yi Tianxing's action is also extremely fast. Dozens of capsules are picked from one plant, and thousands of capsules are picked in an instant. Moreover, this number is constantly increasing. Unconsciously, in addition to planting a large number of seeds in the Lingtian, a large pile of golden wheat was also accumulated in the Hongmeng Tiandi Tower, which was like a golden hill. In the process, Yi Tianxing even emerged a joy of harvest. A good harvest, golden wheat, such a high-quality rice is just in my hands. Even if it costs an invisibility, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. Yi Tianxing's face could not help revealing a trace of joy from his heart. Such a rare treasure as lingmi is legendary that only those cultivated Shanmen holy places can be qualified for planting, and any kind is not so easy to obtain. But now I can get it so easily, this will surely become one of the details of Xuanwang Town. Boss, it's ready. Just then, a scarecrow walked in front of the golden scarecrow and spoke in a voice. After you bring them, come with me, and others will pack the rice fields. Beware of food thieves. The golden scarecrow nodded and promised. It can be seen that he is wise, and the scarecrow here is even wise. Can think and be able to move, except for the physical body, it is not much different from humans. It's just that they seem to have imprinted the mark of protection in their bones and souls, indelible. There's a problem. Keeping an eye on Yi Tianxing's movement around the scarecrow all the time, naturally discovering these movements, can't help but have a thought in my heart. Looked subconsciously, I only saw that the golden scarecrow was in front, and the back was a large number of scarecrows. In their hands, they were holding a scarecrow puppet that had been ***** with straw. Interesting, look back and maybe you can find something big. As soon as Yi Tianxing's eyes turned, he made a decision without hesitation. Turn around and chase after the scarecrow. The body is invisible and moves faster, and it doesn't make any scarecrow feel, even the golden scarecrow can't perceive it. At this moment, Yi Tianxing is nothing. No body or air machine exists. The golden scarecrow didn't think anyone could hide it from him. Not long after, he came to the deep valley. What appeared before him was a hidden cave. There are scarecrows in front of the cave. These scarecrows are taller and stronger than ordinary scarecrows. Obviously, these are the elite among the scarecrows. Sure enough, there is a secret. Yi Tianxing followed quietly, looking at the cave, and could not help but give birth to a hint of curiosity and expectation. Quickly drill into the cave. In this cave, the space inside is very wide. There are more scarecrows guarding inside. Inside, there is a huge space. Very open. When Yi Tianxing approached, he could not help secretly taking a breath. What is this? In front of him, an ancient pond with a size of 3 or 4 feet appearing in front of him. This pool is not easy to see at first sight. The water in it is a golden liquid. Among these golden liquids, a strange stream of light is emitted, which looks amazing. In the center of the pool is a statue of a scarecrow, which looks lifelike. Wow! Immediately after that, a more weird thing appeared. I only saw that those scarecrows would bring the scarecrow www.novelhall.com, which had just been ***** with straw, into the golden pool, and a scarecrow sank into the pool. Soak in golden liquid. There seems to be a golden light flowing. Brush. Then, it didn't take long to see that the scarecrow who was thrown into it started to move, from the cold cricket, just like that, live. Alive, it is really alive. Moreover, he stepped out of the pool step by step. Open his mouth and spit out the words, "Guard the rice fields and drive away the food thieves." A firm light shone in the eyes, and there was faith in the body. What was thrown in was the cold dead thing, the lifeless scarecrow, but the scarecrow who came out with life and soul, really turned from the dead to the living, into a new life. The scarecrow in the valley, is that how it came? Quote. There was a shock in Yi Tianxing's eyes. This is a process of turning dead things into life. It is conceivable how shocking this means of creation is. And this change is obviously caused by the pool in front. This pool contains the unimaginable force of creation. If so, wouldn't it be that the number of scarecrows could be infinitely increased, continuously increased, and continued to grow? How terrible the ultimate scarecrow's combat power will be. Just put a scarecrow and throw it into the pool, and the cost of getting out of the living scarecrow is really too low. There should be restrictions. It can't be so bad. If so, the whole world will not be occupied by the scarecrow. Quote. Yi Tianxing narrowed his eyes and looked at the ancient pond. Remember the first domain name for this book. www.4020.la. 4020 Novel Network Mobile Version Reading URL, m.4020.la. Chapter 360, Knowledge of the Sea. This is not an ordinary pool, but a spiritual pool containing creation. Yi Tianxing groaned secretly. With a break in my heart, I searched again with the wordless book. Instantly, a message appeared in my mind. Huling Pond. Heaven and earth, different treasures, can condense the vitality of heaven and earth, and even various obsessions, desires, soul fragments, etc. Between heaven and earth, condensed into the true liquid of the spirit, with the point of the true spirit, giving the dead the true spirit will. The magical effect of this is where the scarecrow's true spirit lies, condensing the scarecrow's faith and will, which can give ordinary scarecrows the wisdom and soul, and the immortal guardianship. Transforming the spirit real liquid can enhance the power of the soul and temper the true spirit. Grow the gods. For the rare and rare. A message naturally came to mind. Let Yi Tianxing's heart instantly become hot. This mouthful of lingqi is obviously the root of the scarecrow's reproduction. Without the lingqi, it is conceivable that it is simply impossible to grow the ethnic group with the characteristics that the scarecrow cannot reproduce with confidence. Without the lingqi, it is equal to this. The scarecrow may be extinct at any time. Extinct. The importance of the huolinkai to the scarecrow can be imagined. This should be the treasure that was born with this scarecrow. The real treasure of the town. The scarecrow is more guarded than the valley rice fields. It didn't take long to see that the scarecrows that had been thrown into the pond continued to become real scarecrows in the huolinkai, stepping forward confidently and issuing guardian vows. Bring out a sense of indifference. Yi Tianxing also saw that with the constant appearance of scarecrows, the water in this mouth of the lingqi began to decrease at a rate that was visible to the naked eye. In a moment, it has been reduced by more than half. When all the scarecrows that had come out had bred their wisdom in the huoling pool, the pool water in the huoling pool had become a shallow layer. These newborn scarecrows bowed down in reverence towards the huolinkai, in order to show his respect for the life given to the lingqi, Rumu. After the worship, these scarecrows led by the golden scarecrow and went out of the cave one after another. The cave calmed down, only those guards who are still dedicated are around, even patrolling back and forth in the cave. Do not dare to let go of any slightest change. Fear of accidents. The caretaker of the huoling pool is very important. It's finally gone, it's time I shot. Yi Tianxing's eyes lighted up, he quickly took out a few gourds, and the gourds in his hands were also hidden in the void following the invisibility, and the outside world could not see any pictures at all. Carefully came to the side of the huoling pool, watching the huoling real liquid that had become shallow inside, quickly put the gourd into the evolutionary pool, and spit it out, in. After filling it up, take out an empty gourd again and reinstall it. Each gourd can hold 4 or 5 pounds. Not much, it directly hit the 3 gourds, and the water in the pool dropped apart again. Then turned around and walked outside. Those scarecrows didn't notice the changes in the huolinkai for a while. He left the cave easily, and in the valley, the new scarecrows were patrolling around the rice fields. A dutiful look. Let's go, ICA and stay. The amount of golden wheat has already been collected. This amount can not only be used as seeds, but even enough to be eaten. It's not likely to be found in the rice fields. After all, I picked there are not many of them, but I have collected a lot of huoling real liquid in the huoling pool, and there are no small ones that may be discovered. Quote. With a moment of thought, he had quickly left the valley. In the process, none of the scarecrows were alarmed, not even the golden scarecrow. In the dark night, it seems that some violent birds found the rice fields and started to fall into the valley to take the lingmi. Let a large number of scarecrows make an angry shout. In the shout of defeating the food thief, Yi Tianxing took a deep look at the valley, and with a moment of thought, the space door had been opened. Striding in, a light flashed, disappeared from outside the valley. Open the space door one after another, and shuttle the space down. Just a moment later, he had returned to Xuanwang town. At this moment, the town is still at night. Moreover, the Qiming lamp has been lit. The bright light shines on the street and covers the entire Xuanwang town. It shines like daylight without any dark horror. On the contrary, after exhausting during the day, it is night to rest, chat and joke at this moment. Everywhere seemed to be lively, especially in Fang City. The people from the major villages also watched and exchanged in Xuanwang town. The crowd was endless and seemed extremely lively. Many people in the village looked enviously at everything in Xuanwang town. The light of the Qiming lamp is not only dazzling, but also the softest, and it is extremely clear that it shines around. This kind of scene is beautiful in the night. Seems like a night pearl in the dark. Brush. In the backyard of the mansion, a space door emerged directly. After opening, Yi Tianxing's figure naturally stepped out of it. Master, you are back. Cao Zhengchun appeared for the first time and said respectfully. Have they come over? Yi Tianxing nodded and asked. Mr. Huang, they have been here before, but after knowing that your host has not returned, you will make a decision, and the parliament tonight will move backwards and be held tomorrow morning. Cao Zhengchun quickly replied. Moreover, Miu Miu has arranged a place to live in Fufu. Both Dr. Chu and Dr. Wang have come to see and cross the pulse. And they have taken moon well water and let them take it. According to Tu, the doctor said that Miu's internal organs were severely damaged. At the most critical point, she was in a coma, not only due to internal injuries and weakness but also before her soul was damaged. The beast that hurt her has the ability to hurt the soul. Quote. This is true of any injury. As long as the physical injury has elixir, the body is strong, and it is not difficult to recover. The difficulty is that the soul is fundamental to restore the damage to the soul. Once the body is dominated, once it is damaged, it is more difficult to recover the soul's emptiness. In ancient times, if there was damage to the soul, then only find a Taoist priest. There are no great shortcuts to recovery. But the strong body is a big visible way to nurture the soul. Physically strong people will have much stronger natural spiritual will than ordinary people. Doing things is 100 times more spiritual and more handy. Soul hurt. Yi Tianxing frowned slightly. This is not a simple matter. But there is no exception. In the wilderness, there are too many weird creatures and beasts with various abilities and strangeness. Even if it is a beast that can hurt the soul, it is not surprising. Injuries on the body, moon well water can play a good role in healing. Taking well water should recover quickly. This time, the real fluid of my spirits, according to Tianshu records, has the effect of strengthening the soul. I don't know if there is a specific healing effect on the wounds on the soul. Yi Tianxing groaned secretly. The point is, it is not clear what the specific effect of this Huoling Junye is. Everything else, let me try and say, since it is for the growth of the soul, it should not be too dangerous to take a small amount. The parliament tonight has been postponed until tomorrow morning. There is nothing else throughout the night and it is entirely possible to make a try. After waving Cao Zhengchun to leave, he turned into the quiet room. This Huoliangjun liquid can be taken, but the specific effect will not be known until you taste it. Sitting in the quiet room, I took out a large gourd in my hand, opened the gourd, and first took a drop from the gourd, which was a drop of golden liquid, crystal clear, like a gem pearl. Vaguely, it can make people feel the illusion that a soul must be peaceful. Not taking too much, just taking a drop. Put in the mouth. Huoling Junye almost melted at the entrance, and immediately fell into the abdomen along the throat. Immediately afterwards, a magical change appeared in the body. In that drop of Huoling Junye, a strange and refreshing air began to be emitted continuously, not into the flesh, but after being emitted, it was directly incorporated into the invisible soul. There seemed to be an ice cube in my head all of a sudden. I can clearly feel that my own spiritual will and soul are growing rapidly. That feeling is mysterious. There is even an impulse to vomit. It is such a powerful fluid. I can feel that the soul in my body seems to be condensed into reality and manifested from the body. We must open the sea of spirit. This kind of growth makes a great joy and joy appear in my heart. An unprecedented energy. Moreover, the mental strength grows madly, and there is a feeling of breaking through. Rumble. In an instant, Yi Tianxing felt a violent roar in his mind, as if a thunder exploded in his mind, and the whole mind and heart were shaking madly. www.novelhall.com becomes blank. At this moment, as someone has said, it will be found that at the position of Yi Tianxing's forehead, a group of golden light suddenly emerges and there is an invisible coercion. Swept around. This feeling of blankness lasted for a full quarter of an hour before it completely recovered. This recovery, with an open mouth, could not help but reveal an unbelievable look. Unexpectedly opened up the sea knowledge. How is this possible? Yi Tianxing could not help but exclaim. In the position of the ancestral jealousy, there was a life-savvy exploit. This is no other life knowledge. It is known as the ancestral knowledge. It is one of the most important life knowledges in the human body. It is the root of the place where one's spiritual will is located. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis.